So let's get started, guys. If you don't know SASLambo, he's one of my best friends. He's a father of a dog. He's a husband. He's a streamer. He's usually a VTuber. He's a wonderful
Usually.
dude. You guys should all go check him out. But Lambo, why don't you give people the summary of, like, how did we meet? Why are we best friends? Give your perspective to everybody about our history together.
My perspective, huh? Hold on, let me make sure that I'm actually like close to the microphone here. Otherwise, actually, I'm gonna fall over. Anyways, we actually met a very long time ago. We're old. But what level of like censorship is your podcast gonna be? Can I swear?
Fun fact, on YouTube, they removed all the swearing and stuff, so you can swear as much as you want, as often as you want. I would just say, don't talk about the C-19. That's still a bad phrase.
Right.
Any terrorisms. You know, the weird stuff that YouTube still cares about.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that we're old as fuck. Because I think it was around, oh, man. We used to work in the same mall together. Not like we didn't work in the same store. Actually, no, that eventually changed. We initially met when you were working at a comic shop. And
you can name drop the comic shop. It doesn't exist anymore.
What was it, like Great White Shark?
Great White Entertainment, yeah.
Great White Entertainment Comics, yeah. It was something like that. I remember the logo. And it was, the main reason I would even go there was because it was across
from EB Games.
From EB Games.
Yeah.
So I would just, every chance I would have for a break, I would just go over to EB Games, look in and see what they have, admire things, because, I didn't have a lot of money. I worked in retail. Thank you, Fal. But I would just go over there and then be like, oh, I exit the store and I look over like, hey, comics. I like comics. And then kind of decide to pop in and be like, okay, well, what else do they have? And you had like a big wall, at least a starting wall of manga. And that, of course, put me down the rabbit hole for collecting all the different Japanese manga and whatnot. So, and then eventually, after repeatedly buying a couple manga here and there, we would start talking, hanging out, trading, random bullshit and barbs about our favorite series, favorite games, and whatnot. And then, I don't know, we kind of just, we're just good work mall friends from that point
mall
on.
Friends, basically, yeah.
After that, I think it was, I don't know, after like however many years it was, you eventually came over to Sears, because that's where I was working. I was working in the toys and sporting goods, or sporting goods and toys department over at Sears. So I would get to sell treadmills and also sell like action figures and Barbie dolls on the side, because those two departments totally made sense. But eventually you came over to the what was it, the TV,
electronics and furniture.
Yeah, electronics and furniture department. So we got to hang out a little bit more there.
I got to watch Finding Nemo 400 times, and Star Wars Episode 3. I love that movie still to this day, and I can quote very much it by heart because I watched it so many times.
Man, I don't know. Well, you guys were on like the third floor?
Yes.
Yeah, the third floor.
I would say it's the third floor. It was really the second floor because the other one was kind of below ground. It was weird because they had like the basement floor, but not really a basement. It was two floors. One was on a higher elevation, one was on a lower elevation, and then Sears had another.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange setup for Sears, but it was what it was, and I was on the lowest floor basically, and then we get to well, I had just the one. I think we had just the one TV, and it was like basically never on. It was like, well, it would maybe show some random like fitness or treadmill commercials, but no, we got to be jealous of you guys because you at least had like some entertainment, whereas all we had.
It's not some entertainment when you watch the same movie every day. When you work 8 hours and movies are only an hour and a half long, and you have to replay the movie and you have to have the sound on so people can hear what the sound is like. It gets a lot.
Though I will say that we did have a lot of fun at in the treadmill department, because we would occasionally get to test some of them like Christmas toys that would come out. So like they would bring in like the monster truck remote, like the remote control monster trucks, and we'd be like, oh, we're just putting this on display. We gotta plug in the battery, test it out, make sure we understand the product and sell it to the kids. And then we would put it on the treadmill and see if it could race the treadmill. And a lot of them could not obviously race the treadmill, but it was still fun. It was great. It was good. It was good times.
Yeah, it was all great times. In fact, that's how I got mostly into anime, because I didn't know really a lot about anime. I was more the comic book guy. However, the comic book guy did the anime, then he quit. And so I had to learn how to sell all the anime. I had to read all of the anime. And then, of course, I kept recommending people the worst animes ever. Like Fruits Basket, it's okay as a manga, but it's not a very good anime.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, it was fine. It was the manga was definitely better. The anime was acceptable. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst.
But that mall was chock full of nerds. I tell you what. Well, maybe it's my experience because I was in the corner with EB and every hobby game ever. Yeah,
it was a nerd corner.
It was a lot of nerd stuff going on in that mall there. Anyways, you didn't go over the fact that we played Pokemon Go together as well.
Oh yes, well, okay. There was a bit of a time gap there. It was like a time leap. Is that what you call it?
Sure.
In between working at the mall and then when we met up again, because we had obviously drifted apart, lost contact because you don't exactly maintain your mall friend relationships.
You don't keep your phone number of your coworkers from Sears.
I mean, at the time, I'm like we barely had even like cell phones being used regularly anyways. But again, old as fuck. But we actually it was in the height of the Pokemon Go days, or at least kind of in like near the tail end or middle of the height of that. And I think we were just randomly out because we were just driving around town, hitting up gyms, catching Pokemon, finding the rares. And then I would just kind of peek over because every group had their own, like if you're Team Valor or Team Instinct or Team Mystic, whatever, you'd go together and you would hang out together. You go catch Pokemon together, and I would just kind of stand there like, all right, we're in the Valor group. I look over, I see like the Mystic group in the other corner, and then I look over, I'm like, who are they? Like, I think that's the Instinct group. And I noticed you. I'm like, well, I know that bald head from.
Why are you outing me as the Instinct? It's the best team. Let's be honest.
Zam is obviously Team Instinct. I mean, look at him. He has to be. Was it a community day or a raid day? I think it must have been a raid day because we were driving around a lot.
Yeah, community days. I used to go down to Princess Island Park. That's where everybody went, and so it was a great time to join up as a community.
Yeah, but raid days for sure. That would explain why we were just kind of randomly going places and doing a lot of driving, which I'm glad we don't do anymore because holy crap, we spent a lot of money on gas for that.
I thought about getting a second vehicle for Pokemon Go, like a beater, so I wouldn't put kilometers on it to drive around during those raid days, because that was fun to do, to go through every single raid and hit like 19 raids in an hour or so and try and get the best Pokemons. It was cool. I loved the game. I hate how microtransaction it got, and once you got to the max level, it was kind of like, what next? I wasn't going shiny hunting. I did not have good luck.
We were part of like the I want to say it's like so nerdy to say it, but it's like we were like very elite with the game because like we would be constantly raiding, constantly catching Pokemon, and we were known in the community. And people like would still be like, "Oh yeah, is that SASLambo?" It's like, yeah, okay. We would go around taking gyms and holding gyms for days and sometimes even like weeks and months because we wanted to turn those gyms gold. And it got to the point where people were like, "Oh, there's that Team Valor group here. We might as well just let them have the gym. They'll go away after like once they get it gold, and then we can finally have it again." Because yeah, we were low key hardcore. We would just run around, go grab the gyms, and then leave. We would never come back. Get the gym, and then that was it. So thank you for the.
So was I. So was I. But I did bring along a bunch of rookies to go raiding with, and that's where I say I'm low key hardcore for that game because I did carry a lot of people, but I carried them because I was hardcore. I was able to be that powerful, but. I think I was like in the top 100 of people to get max level here in the city. It was hard to get max level back in the day. I hear they now like double, tripled the level cap, so that's interesting. But I don't know if I would ever play it again.
No, I burnt out really hard because I hold on to the fake title that I grabbed onto, the first player in the city to reach level 40, or no, reach a million XP at level 40. That was my so-called claim to fame, like whatever.
Right, because you could keep leveling after you got to max, and eventually when they unlevel capped it, you'd automatically get those levels, which was neat. But it took forever for them to upgrade the cap.
Yeah, but as long as you were willing to just run around and just keep doing like a whole bunch of raids, and it wasn't hard to get XP. Just do lots of raids, lots of evolutions, and all that. Pokemon Go was something we did spend a lot of time on, but I got so burnt out of it because like I think it was 1 year on like I think Valentine's when they kind of pushed out a Chansey slash Blissey event. It was like they were just everywhere. It was just stupid to the point where like you can just like just walk 2 feet, you'd find a couple of them. It was just
when
like
I got my first 100%.
Yeah, the writing
Blissey.
hit the wall for me with that game. It was just like, oh, okay, the game is purely like
it's event. It's catch this one Pokemon for 4 hours and then repeat it next week or next month. It was event by event by event, and it was way too many events. But I needed that 100 Blissey to hold my gyms because I was using Snorlaxes at the time, and that's not very good. Snorlax and Slacking was bad though.
But even now, it's just like you don't even need anything for like anything special just to take out 100% Blissey. It's just like a handful of Machamps. You're just like boom, whatever.
The gyms became stupid when you could have three Pokemon fight one Pokemon, and you could keep going in regardless. And it wasn't
like the original gym system where you could just stack it full of like just like 10 Blissies or whatever, 10 Blissies in a row, and then you can just actually keep restacking it. And just keep rebuilding it, but no, not anymore. The new system is meant for quote unquote casuals, as we had dubbed it, and it was like, okay, the game is for casuals now. I quit. And
I was actually playing the other game by Niantic, the Inverse or whatever it was, to try and make Pokemon stops out here. And I got to the level where I could start recommending stops. However, nobody ever voted on them. Because you also have to be at the level to make stops to vote. And it was their other game was stupid. Yeah, Ingress, that was a terrible game. It was bad.
I hated it. I would play that. I would also kind of level up and play that on the side just to do the same, get levels and like maybe create and submit stops. But it was so boring. It was it was one of the worst games I had ever played.
Yeah, the graphics didn't help it either.
Yeah, but that was like again back to the original reason why we talked about Pokemon Go in the first place. That was where we met up again. Yeah, who's the bald guy, right? That's where we met up with Zam, and then it was like, hey, we exchange contact information. It's been like 800 million years since
we had phones because we were playing Pokemon Go on them.
We were on Pokemon. We had our phones with batteries, fully charged and everything because we had our spare chargers
and spare batteries for it because Pokemon Go ate the batteries.
Yeah, exactly. So but then it was like, okay, we'll exchange contacts, and I think it just we just slowly started to just connect more and hang out from there. Mainly,
and then you started streaming. I feel like it was 2 months or so after I did.
Something around that time. I don't remember exactly the time frame, but it was close to probably a little bit after you.
And I didn't know you were streaming until we went to a Twitch meetup together.
Yeah, it was just we would just kind of talk a little bit here and there, trade some contact information, but then I was like, oh, what the frick? Just show up at a Twitch meetup and like, oh, okay, I guess we're all streamers now.
I guess we're super best friends now that we have all the same hobbies.
Yeah, I gave up on Pokemon Go. We were still paintballing at the time, so that was my other major hobby. But of course, like around the time COVID had also was going to hit, so that was I guess I shouldn't have.
What is your streamiversary? Speaking of what Chimera mentioned in chat,
how do I look that up again?
You don't know it off the top of your head because mine's different because they swap your streamiversary to partnerversary once you get that.
Yeah, I think it was April. I want to say.
Yeah,
April.
I'm in November, so it was like 6 months, but still. Yeah. Very similar. If you look back at it, it's like 10% of the time we've been streaming because it's been like 6 years, I think, for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it's 6 or 7 years on this platform.
I'm trying to think. It's 6 or 7 years sounds about right.
And Chimera didn't know who I was at all. By the way, if you're all watching on YouTube and you don't know who Chimera is his obvious wife. Anyways, so we know each other from very far back. Would you say my introduction for you was adequate? Did I miss anything? Father of dogs, streamer, husband, I guess overall nerd.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you,
it's kind of nerd.
If I were to ask you to introduce yourself, what would you use as adjectives and descriptors?
I would say probably just, well, I guess VTuber is more recent, more accurate thing lately.
I did drop that you were a VTuber. A sheep VTuber specifically. Yeah. Not a huge boobed anime girl.
I just play one on the internet. Yeah, I'm not an anime girl on the internet. I'm just a cartoon sheep. We actually kind of were just just joking around when we were playing Sea of Thieves. It's like, wouldn't it be funny, Lambo, if you were like your mascot as a VTuber? Because I think VTubing had just started being more popular around that time, and it was like, wouldn't it be funny? And I would just start doing the research, started looking into it. And then it kind of snowballed from there. It took like a few months for.
I feel like that's every part of your stream, though. Is wouldn't it be funny? I'm just going to do it anyways. Every single part of your stream.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Wouldn't it be funny? And then he was like, okay, well, how feasible is it to make it happen? And then I was just kind of go into this rabbit hole, the hard focus, and then try to see if it's doable. And then it's like, oh, look what I just did. I made a thing. We're doing the thing. We're doing it live. Whether or not people like it, it's just gonna happen.
As my first VTuber on the show, tell us all more about how VTubing works. If you like it, if you would do it again, would you recommend anybody to start being a VTuber? Should they not start with a flesh tuber? What are your opinions?
Oh, I think it's people should do whatever is most comfortable to them. I started streaming as me.
I politely disagree. I'm going to interrupt. The most comfortable thing would be not to stream at all. The go live button scares so many people. If they want to be comfortable, don't push the button. Don't go live.
But they still want to stream in the first place. So if they're wanting to stream and they can be comfortable, whether it's with the camera or without a camera, with the model, whether it's 2D, 3D, PNG, whatever, pick whatever they want and just run with it, because they won't know if they like it until they do it. That's always the case. You have to at least take the plunge. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be awkward, but you got to do it. That's always the case. But I would say there's so many new resources nowadays for VTubers.
Amazing resources nowadays.
Yeah, they didn't exist for me when I first started. It was like you would have these really janky kind of 3D models that you can kind of customize. You could go on a slider, change your hair color, maybe change your eye color, maybe some of your clothes, and then that'd be it. That's all. You could change like male, female, or skin color, and I was like, okay, that's the end all be all for your VTuber. Now, or I guess you could also do a custom model is what I ended up doing. But they're still very expensive. Like,
how much did you end up paying, or are you not at liberty to say?
I'm trying to remember how much I ended up paying for that first model, because it wasn't a full model. It was just the bust. So it was just like the waist up. So I couldn't I was like, well, I didn't want to spend a whole ton of money for my first model. And it was like just a few $100s. It was just the artwork, get it all, like all the different layers and all the things cut and ready. And then I would then bring it over to someone who could rig the model. And that was another few $100s. So that adds up. It adds up. And yeah, it definitely wasn't cheap. And yes, and like what Crafty says, I think like it helped me come out of my shell as a streamer, because when I first started streaming, it was just me as the quote unquote flesh tuber. I would be playing, I don't know, Fortnite or Anthem, and that was probably my first game that I played, or The Division, and like. It was just, me and the camera in the corner playing whatever those games. And I was still kind of okay, I'm still awkward now. I was more awkward, not sure how to express myself, how to talk, and then it never really changed in the couple or few years that I was streaming. It was just always just like that. But then eventually, it was like, okay, well, I'll have the model. I could stream with that. It has some level of expression. I could use that and to express myself, but also not necessarily share my face. And I can kind of look unkempt. I don't necessarily do my hair, wear the nicest, or present myself in the nicest way when I'm as a VTuber. Though I guess I try to anyways.
I'm personally attacked by that.
I break immersion regularly. Anyway, what do you mean? I'm not. You're looking fine, Zam. You're wearing your nice jersey.
Yeah, I totally did my hair for this stream, just for this interview. Wow.
Yeah, your hair looks amazing.
Thank you. I worked so hard on it.
Yeah. Anyways, it was just it did help me kind of get out of my shell. I was able to be more expressive. I had to be more expressive because, you know, aside from my janky first model, which I still love, by the way. My first Lambo model was great, but it was still, you know, lacking in some expression. I have to manually switch over the expressions and things like that. My current model has a lot more, I guess, tracking. So like if I was to make like faces or whatever, you can kind of actually see that come across. But at the very least, I'd have to be more expressive with my voice, or at least make it so that you're understanding that I am annoyed or happy or sad or whichever. And that's kind of helped me do better in that aspect as a streamer. I'm still, you know, terrible overall. At least I consider myself so, or I will continue to say so. But that's always the streamer imposter syndrome speaking.
That's fair. So you became a YouTuber. It helped you get out of your shell. Now, you said that people should just start streaming if they want to start streaming, and they do whatever. Do you feel like the VTuber bubble ever got too big, that the market got too saturated? Because a lot of people commented about that, but I don't think it is.
It's pretty saturated. There's a lot of VTubers out there. It's gonna be like, well, it's similar to just streaming. Well, it's like anything in the streaming realm, or I guess content.
Do you know how many bald, angry men are on Twitch? There's a lot of us. I feel like it's the same for VTubers. How is that any different? Is the market oversaturated on bald, angry men? I don't think so. I mean, people watch me for some reason.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, there's always a community or a niche for anybody. I can say that much. There's always going to be someone who will watch somebody. Yeah, Twitter for sure. But yeah, it's not impossible for communities to be made. It's just more, you know, I guess it's a bit easier for VTubers because you can then present your model in a certain way, whether there's some sort of animal or a demon or an anime character or game character. It's a little bit more upfront. You can kind of be like, oh, okay, this is probably based on a character that they love. It's similar to this other character from a game that I like. Maybe they're cool, and then your next I guess impression of them will probably be their voice. Do you like their voice? Does it sound like a mommy voice or something else like that? And it's, you know, then that'll kind of bring you in.
Do you feel like you have a mommy voice?
Oh, absolutely. I have the mommiest voice out of... No, I don't. Of course not. What the heck do you...
How would you explain your voice then? Do you have a daddy voice? Do you have a sheep voice? Bah.
I don't know what my voice would be. I don't know. Chat, what do you think my voice would count as? I don't think it's... I've never really thought about... Yeah, an uwu voice. Perfect. That's
I feel like it would be more to the daddy version because you do have a deep, very docile voice until you laugh. And that's where I definitely see the cartoon sheep coming out. You know what I mean?
Pause chant mom. It can be sultry. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Scarecrow. That's exactly the one.
I'm glad they said it, not me. That's fair. So would you say that people should start VTubing though? Do you think it's a benefit or is it neutral overall?
I think it's probably neutral overall. It's in my opinion, it is probably maybe like a step above no cam. Like I understand there are people that would just prefer just to have zero camera, zero anything. It's just the gameplay or whatever the content is, and then it's just their voice in the background, which is fine. But like just even like a little image, like a PNG model or just a little model in the corner, kind of expressing, kind of gives a community some kind of a personality to latch onto and kind of look at. But that depends on the person, depends on the viewer. They may not care, they may care. That's just I think that it's nice to try at the very least. And then if you have a personal like original character or something that can express yourself, that's something that you can do. But yeah, definitely don't think that VTubing.
I was going to chime in on that. Chimera was 100% right. Do not start VTubing thinking you're going to be famous. Do not start streaming thinking you're going to be famous, or any content creation in general. If that's your motivation to become famous, you're in the wrong industry.
No, like there's always a small percentage chance, maybe if you have a very I don't know, like you have a very good voice, you're a good singer, you're a great content creator, but like there's so many of those out there that don't have the visibility, that are seen on any platform, they're not getting discovered anyways. So like the chances of being discovered, even if you have all of the above talents, without just simply being on there and streaming isn't going to be enough. You would have already had to have been auditioning for voice roles for games or for audio.
It's all about who you know. So if you already have industry connections, everything will boost your career from there, and vice versa. If you get those connections, you can start a career from there. But chat also really wants us to compare auras. I'll let you go first. What's your best aura?
Okay. We're just gonna just going in, right? All right. Okay.
Do it dry. Do it raw. Okay, you went that version. Okay, all right. That's not where I was going with it. Ara.
Perfect. There we go. Exact opposites.
Exact opposites. I was going for like the cocained out VTuber, maxed out on chaos and mischief. Oh boy.
The gremlin Ara.
Exactly. Well, my energy is very gremlin. If I was a VTuber, I would have went so hard into the gremlin mode. It would have been crazy. But chat, let us know who had the best Ara. I did have a different topic though, Lambo. I've been seeing a lot of people, especially since Twitch has been fighting view bots the past couple of weeks. I've seen a lot of people take hits on their viewership and everything. And I look at you and I see so much growth over the past year. How do you feel about being one of the few people I know that is growing in the industry? Do you look at that sort of stuff? And furthermore, does it actually impact you in any way?
I won't. I can't lie and be like that I don't look at it. I do look at the numbers occasionally. I do look at it. I'm just kind of. It's always a level of surprise, than just like, oh, people still watch me. But it's kind of hard to say because like my content is very chaotic. I won't say that it's like a gremlin kind of content. It's just I kind of just do whatever. I typically display my Yakuza games. I hang out. We have a mixture of immersion breaking, which is just me switching over to my real camera, and then I don't know, I do Numa or I do something silly in the background. That's just kind of what I've always done. I try to at least engage with the community, chat with them. I try to be as real as I can. There's really not much that I'm doing too different lately. It's like I've been quite lazy in terms of creating content. Like I had for like a stint created a whole bunch of like TikTok videos, and just whether they're clips or just like the trendy silly TikTok sounds, and I would just make a ton of those. Burnt myself way out on doing all that. And I would occasionally like try to consider like, well, maybe I'll put out some like actual long form content, but I'm still not sure if I want to, but I still think about it. But it's like at the moment I'm looking at the numbers and I'm just like, okay, well, people are still enjoying what I'm doing. At the very least, I will continue to entertain them to the best of my abilities, because the main reason why I'm even streaming is because it is legitimately an excuse for me to play games. If I did not stream, I would probably sit around and stare at other streams and be indecisive on what to do, like play, like what games to play in the background. But if I am streaming, I am going to want to entertain someone, and the easiest way for me to do that is to start up a game and play. That's just the easiest thing to do. And that's just what I've just been doing. I want to, yeah, or I'll just doom scroll through TikTok for hours, and just end up just sharing clips back and forth. But that's pretty much the only other thing. It's like I occasionally will think about adding more stuff to the channel or adding things to like my content. I want to eventually start looking at whether I want to make like short clips for for various games, or for like maybe some like audition for like voice roles for stuff like that. But that's just like extra stuff. For now, it's just like, yeah, I'm just kind of surprised people are still that I'm growing. I don't think I'm growing. I think I'm more or less just holding steady. Maybe it's just the ebb and flow of streaming. That's just what I personally think.
I looked at the chart. The line is going up. They're all green numbers. You are growing. It's not like you're growing huge. You're just on an upward course, while everybody else, especially in the past 2 weeks, has tanked significantly because they really butchered lurkers and how lurkers count. And then they said no, they didn't, and then they said yes, we did. Then they said no, we didn't. So we'll see. But either way, I'm proud of your growth, bud. It's not easy in the industry to grow, especially getting past like your first viewer to your 10th viewer. I'd argue that's the real struggle. And then from there, it's like easy breezy. But you did mention one thing I want to dig into. You mentioned you're lazy and you haven't been doing too much with your stream. Why is that?
Yeah, super lazy. I do have a life outside of the stream, and I don't exactly have a lot of free time to consider doing the extra stuff on top of my existing stream schedule. I mean, when I first started streaming, I was like, okay, well, it would be like I would work and then I would stream, and then and any other time outside of that would just be spending time with Chimera. And the weekends would be go out, play paintball, go hang out with friends, and go eat food and stuff like that. But it was very much like, it was like 5 to 7 days a week of just streaming, and it just made no sense. It was like every day for 4 hours, stream whatever, and it just it just got old. There was nothing new, no new content. It wasn't like anything interesting. So eventually, I was just like, I started paring that down so I'd have more time. Because I do work full time. I'm as per my raid video, I'm a computer nerd. Although I do less of the computer stuff lately. I'm busy managing projects and stuff. But that eats up a lot of my time. And then of course, you also mentioned that I'm a full-time dog dad. Maui, I don't know where he is right now, but he demands a lot of attention. So I try to make sure that he gets plenty of walks, plenty of time. Plenty of
for anyone on YouTube. Maui
is
a little corgi, the most adorable little corgi you can ever see. Well trained, well behaved.
Yeah. He's Chimera did a lot of the training for that. He's currently downstairs somewhere. Yeah, he's probably in Chimera's room. But it was just like trying to manage the time, but also like streaming so many times, so many days in a row was just really tiring, and it's tough because I want to I want to stream. I also want to support like all the streamer friends that I've made throughout the communities and the various over the very many years that we've been streaming. So and I also say that I'm lazy, but in the sense of like, with the limited amount of time, it's really not that limited. But it's like, I could sit down and design new commands, design new content, design new art or redeems or whatnot. Oh, there's Maui now. He's hanging out right over here because Chimera brought him down. But there's so many things that I could do, but it's just like I don't have a lot of the time to sit down and just create everything from start to finish, and to at least the level that I want it to be at before I just ship it out to the world. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, I've created something, I'll toss it out, like the fishing game. I'll create some kind of art, toss it in there. That's easy enough. That's small enough. But like if I wanted to do like a whole new redeem where my model does all sorts of fancy stuff, it takes forever. And like, you know, we have standard professionals, even though we're not necessarily professionals. Professionals have standards. Yeah.
Team Fortress 2 sniper.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, I would want to put content out to a certain level, but it's like I claim that I'm lazy, but it's also realistically, it's like I don't have the time or necessarily the money to put out the stuff that I would like that for people to enjoy.
So what motivates you to put stuff out, to make things? Also, hi, Chin, thank you for the raid. Everybody, welcome on over. I don't know if I'm supposed to turn raids off during podcasts or not. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But it's like, if I turn it off, I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot. But if I leave raids on, then it's like, how do I say hi, Chin, in the middle of your conversation, right?
Yeah, I need to acknowledge Captain Noble as well for raiding me earlier. So
I saw that. But yeah, what motivates you to make things for stream?
I think it used to just be, well, when I was more, I guess, caring about the whole, like, yeah, I want to be a streamer. I want to grow on the platform. It was mostly like, you know, for that chasing that inevitable or that hopeful for the growth. That was mainly the motivation initially. Now it's more or less like I just want to have fun. If it's silly, it makes me laugh. It makes me, well, not cry. It entertains me. It'll be something that I would be like, okay, that's enough motivation. That's something that I'll go for. But mostly it's does it make me laugh? Is it funny? Is it entertaining? That's the main motivation now.
All right, I'm going to ask you the question that I asked Denikai because he put me on the spot and asked me to ask him questions that I had already pre-written for everybody else coming on the show so far. I don't know if you were there for it. Doesn't matter. I'm still asking the question regardless. You have so many things that are added to your stream that I fucking hate. The fishing mini game, your bot spamming everything, your AI answering everybody's questions, following the Frosty Tool stuff is every now and then kind of through Lambie. What is the worst thing in your opinion that you ever added to stream? Like a knick-knack, a what are those called, widgets, a command, a channel point redeem. What is the worst thing you ever added?
The worst thing? I'm trying to think which one would be that bad. Because
I know what I would answer with. It's not fish, actually.
What would you answer with?
I would say the worst thing you probably added to stream, if I were you, would have been the Numa Numa. It's so interrupting. It is so annoying to have to stop and dance for people and you feel like you're a monkey dancing for entertainment. That would be my thing.
I mean, isn't that any different from your crab dance or your caramel dancing?
Mine is only like 10 seconds long, so it doesn't break copyright. Second off, I don't change to a camera behind me so that people can watch. I don't turn my lights to LED, red, green, blue. I'm just gonna go, okay, here's the most pathetic crab dance you can have.
Yeah, when's your butt cam gonna happen, Sam?
Never, because I don't wear pants all the time on stream. In fact, I'm not right now.
Well,
it's too hot for pants.
There are some days where I'll admit that Numa Numa Cam is probably, the Numa Numa Redeem is probably kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's like, it's just silly enough that it kind of pulls me back to reality for a moment. I'm okay with it. It's probably, I kind of low-key want to say Stream Raiders. Like, I liked Stream Raiders in the sense that it was a good community building tool. And then I know that you certainly utilize it for that aspect too. But it's like it was a great tool for that. But at the same time, it was kind of it was just very superficial at the end. It just felt like there wasn't a lot of content going for it, and it was just kind of like
you played it after it died. You played it well after it died, and that's your own fault.
That's my own fault for sure. It was. I was so happy to finally just be done with it. But that was probably the only one that I had that I stuck around with for way too long. I don't mind like the fish. I don't mind the other stuff that I have going on that I can think of at the moment.
Have you ever removed anything from the stream after adding it?
Probably.
Because I removed putting onesies on. That was so annoying to have to get up, put a onesie on, come back, and it was hot as hell in summer. Like onesies were a terrible addition. I removed that from the stream easily. I also removed fish, but that's because I hate the thing.
I think there were some things like putting on like I think I briefly had like wearing a hat because I had like I have a variety of like baseball caps and stuff like that. That was on the channel for maybe a couple months. It wasn't terribly popular. It was only like used a handful of times. I think it's like more of a I'll bring it back occasionally at best. I know like I bring like cowboy hat back sometimes, but for the most part, a lot of them do end up staying for
forever. You never remove anything, even though it dies.
I did remove show and tell. I did remove that. That actually was it got boring to me. I know that like only a handful of people would use it, and it was like, well, you know, show something in the stream room, and like there's only so many things I have. I have lots of like collectibles and lots of little like books and whatever, but it's like eventually I'm gonna run out of stuff. But also it was just like that I found that more tiresome and more effort than like Numa. I would rather just Numa because it's the same thing for like, you know, for like 30 seconds or whatever versus like me running around the room finding something that I hadn't already shown to chat. And that was probably the one thing that I was pretty happy to get rid of. So, you know, I'm sure if Impact was here, he'd be like, what the heck, you got rid of it permanently? I just kind of let it just like, yeah, it's gone now. And then,
fair enough.
Now chat's like, yeah, now chat wants me to like do other redeems. We have to wait for later, by the way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. I thank you for putting your stream on hold for doing this. Because not only do you not have a lot of time to talk, I mean, we talk a lot in DMs. By the way, this is very similar to our DMs, except I'm not telling you guys right now that I just pooed or whatever it is. All right, we're leaving that off the table, but this is basically our DMs with each other.
Yeah, basically.
My next topic, Lambo. Should I get a Switch 2?
Yeah, you should get a Switch 2. You've only been talking about a Switch 2 for 800 years. Or no, you've been talking about the Switch for 800 years. But like, you should definitely get the Switch 2. So you can stop asking us about it.
I'm not getting a Switch 2. I'm sorry. Yeah. I am not. I decided to spend that money on groceries instead. And also Walmart has shitty groceries. I'm so glad your alerts are off. Groceries. Oh my God, Izzy's being a nerd over there. But I also decided not to get the Switch 2 because I was waiting for the LED version to come out because it's silly that it's $700 Canadian. And it's not even LED.
I would have preferred to like because you're limited in your gift card to only Walmart. I would have been like if they had sold like the Steam Deck, I'd be like get the Steam Deck 100% instead.
So you can't buy gift cards with a gift card. I tried that. Because they sell Steam gift cards, and I could buy it with Steam gift cards, but I cannot spend Walmart gift cards on Steam gift cards to buy it. Also, I don't think I'd want a Steam Deck because I don't do mobile gaming. I game on a computer. I game in my office. I game for stream just like you do.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose that's true too. But I just like the Steam Deck. It's a good console. I have it on
but you play off the computer. What a nerd. Look at this nerd and his toys.
I mean, nerds like their toys. That's the fun part of being a nerd, right?
Sonori asked a very good question. Lambo, how do you feel to be the only one who got to be so intimate with my head?
It was definitely a privilege. And it was fun because I got to draw blood with it.
Did I bleed? I don't think I did.
You did actually a little bit. I remember that much. It was closer to the base on the back of your head.
Oh, the place I can't see.
Yeah.
If you don't know YouTube, I waxed my head for charity, and Lambo was the waxer, and neither of us knew what we were doing, and it was a terrible time. It was 3 hours of torture, and we used all the wax, and we got maybe like half to 2/3 of the way through the head. It was not a good time. It was awful. I was sweating buckets the entire time because it was just awful. Oh man. And then I'd have to go and use baby oil to get the wax to stop clumping in my hair, and then the baby oil stopped wax from grabbing more hairs. Waxing is not fun. Also, it still grows back patchy to this day.
I mean, that's what you get when you ask me to do it. I was like, okay, I don't know anything about this. We're just doing it live. But
Okay.
that's we did it. We waxed your head.
We did. And we got the kind that we didn't have to microwave either, because we didn't have to run down to the kitchen every time.
Oh God.
Also, I feel like the microwave would have probably done better, because I don't know if that friction actually warmed up enough.
No, maybe if I use that friction like for even longer to like warm up the patches or whatever, it would have been, or the strips, it would have been better. But again, we did well. We're guys. We don't read the instructions either. At least we don't read it well. So you got what you got.
But we had chat, and chat was supposed to help. They were supposed to be the heroes.
Chat definitely was not.
They didn't sabotage us at all, telling us to do it the wrong way.
No. Why would they sabotage?
Imagine having a hair dryer as a bald man to help with the whack. No. Oh man. So I gotta know.
I didn't listen.
You recommended really bad animes to me. What are you actually watching these days?
What am I actually watching these days?
Yeah, like anime or shows or whatever.
The most current ones that I'm watching with Chimera, we've been watching the Apothecary Diaries. That's probably the most recent one that we've been watching. I've also low-key been watching, trying to remember the name of it. What was it called?
I'm currently watching myself, Dr. Stone. It's a terrible anime, but it suits my needs for being something to distract me on the treadmill.
The other one that I started watching, I'm like maybe halfway through the series, is called From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. That's the anime that I'm currently watching. It's
man, they really need to get better names for anime. I tell you,
the titles are well, they're descriptive. They're very, I mean,
did you end up watching the time I was reincarnated as a vending machine?
I didn't have a chance to watch that, but I did read the manga for that many moons ago. So
I got very upset because in season 2 they changed the main character's voice actor, and it's completely different. But they keep the catchphrases he says as the original voice actor, and that's just it's a reminder every day that the original voice actor was better.
Oh, that sucks. It sucks when they switch out the voice actors and you're just like, well, what the heck is this? And then your immersion's broken. Light novel titles are much worse.
I was so immersion broken out of the time I was reincarnated as vending machine. I was so immersed in that story. It was so relatable.
I recommended like a whole bunch of anime titles to you. What else were you not happy with? You would have watched
Solo Leveling.
Was amazing.
I hated you for that recommendation.
What, Solo Leveling?
Yeah.
Solo Leveling is like a brain, like turn your brain off kind of anime.
No, okay, so here's why I hate you for that. You recommended this show, and it was in English on Crunchyroll, and I booted up, and I'm watching, I'm enjoying it, I'm getting involved in the depth of the world. I'm learning about the character. It's going great. Everything's fantastic. He just got his leveling up abilities, and then episode 5 is only in Japanese. It's not in English. And I didn't know until I was talking to another streamer that episode 5 and or 6 was Japanese only, but by episode 7 it goes back to English. So I wouldn't have known that if another streamer wasn't like having the exact same issue. Why are those episodes only in Japanese? I'm offended. How dare you recommend me an anime I can't even listen to?
Well, just watch it with subtitles like any normal person.
I hate you. I can't watch a show. The show is on the second monitor, which is why I watch streams. It goes on the second monitor so I can be doing something.
Oh, you can dedicate, 23, 24 minutes to watch.
To read? To read.
Yeah, sure.
I hardly even read chat.
All right, fine.
How am I supposed to read an anime?
Just learn Japanese. That'll be easier, right?
I know a lot of Japanese, Chimera, like Konnichiwa.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's exactly all you need for
and nani?
Nani?
Oh my goodness. Go Minasai. Anyways, you actually went to Japan. How was the trip? You've gone twice now?
Yeah, this would be my second time that we had gone. Well, that I had gone to Japan. Gone back, or I'd gone the first time. I want to say like a decade ago. It was for like a 10-day trip with my mom. And then this time, Kamira and I gone for like uh, just under 3 weeks. It was a blast.
How
I
much was that trip? Because I've thought
how
about going to
much?
Japan.
It was not cheap. It was not cheap. It was very expensive. I don't. I'd have to go and look it up. I don't have the numbers on top of my head. I kind
If
of
you were
like
to budget
took the
another
numbers and
trip,
shoved it out.
what would you budget?
Ah,
Because I think the flight's like 1,200 itself. I
and
don't
if
know
you
how
want
the
to hit up
hotels are or
I guess it
anything.
depends on how long you're going there for too. Like if you're going there for like just like a week or 2 weeks or a month, for like a few weeks, like I don't know. I want to say you should budget for like I don't know 5 grand or something.
5 grand,
It's
Jesus Christ! I could buy a Switch with that money.
you can buy a couple Switches with that money. It's not well. It depends, right? You can be super like budget focused and pick a lot cheaper for places to go and stay. You can go super cheap and just stay at like what manga cafes or not a yeah manga cafes
You
or
can
whatever and then just
you can
stay.
stay in a
Um,
cafe.
Effectively, yeah. It's effectively you go into there and they'll have like these stalls, which is just like a computer and a seat, and you can actually stay overnight. You're just paying like by the hour, and they're like dollars. You can just for a few dollars you can stay overnight. It's not necessarily the most comfortable, but they have a shower they can use. They have like a free drink station. You can go nearby and get some food. They have a lot of tissues.
Why is there a
It,
shower in an internet cafe?
yeah. I think it's just, because they understand that some people will use it and stay there like overnight. I know uh, a lot of budget focused travelers will use it. And then I guess there's other aspects of those internet cafes that require showers too, but not nothing too heinous or silly. But either way, it depends on what you're trying to what you want out of your trip. If you want it more focused on like spending it on going to events, going to see
What
like the
events are there
theme
to see
parks.
in Japan?
What do you mean? What events are there to see? Aspect. Different theme parks. You can go if you like Studio Ghibli, if you like Pokemon, if you like Final Fantasy, all the Square Enix titles. Everything has a thing. They have a title. They have like a theme, a cafe, like a theme park. If you like Nintendo, they'll of course have the Nintendo theme park over at Universal Studios. They obviously have like their Disney parks. At the moment in Osaka, they have like the World Expo. They have all sorts of stuff. There's tons of different events and things going on at any given time. It's just a matter of when you go and what you want to see. There's always like in the summertime, there's festivals. Actually, there's festivals all the time. But again, if you like anime, you like manga, you can go to conventions. You can go to um, the different like places like Akiba to go check out the holy grail of manga and anime. Although Akiba is probably not the most popular spot to go. There's more popular ones now. Tons of different things you can do, Zam.
Okay, you know me very well. What would I like to do in Japan?
What would you like to do in Japan? I don't think I know you that well. um, what would you like to do in Japan? I mean, you like food. I like food. There's a lot of different places they can go just to get food. Also, just like sightseeing is also a pretty solid thing. Whether you're going to Kyoto, Nara, the main cities, if you like going to the museums, there's just even walking around a random street, a random like just step off at a random station, go towards like just pick a direction and keep walking. You'll find so many cool things. I don't know, Zam. There's literally no shortage of things. You could probably just spend like hours and hours in like one corner of Akiba and you'd be pretty happy.
What do we have similar here in Canada? Because you named a
In
lot of
Canada,
things that you can go for different events and different cafes and different amusement parks. I feel like Canada has very little compared to that. You know what I mean? Like we have sea land, we have marine land, we have we have giant statues of animals. We have Banff. but Banff is arguably like a 1 out of 10 compared to like onsens and stuff.
Yeah. I guess onsens would probably be a pretty solid one, but again, that they're a little bit more out of the way for like the nicer onsens, like at least the outdoor traditional ones. There are plenty of just in city onsens you can go to, but they're probably less scenic. I don't know. In terms of the level of the closest thing would probably be to go to like I don't know, like Crystal Mall or like Aberdeen Mall in like Vancouver. For like the shopping experience to be a
We
little
have
bit
West Edmonton Mall.
closer.
It's so much better.
I haven't been to West Edmonton Mall for a very long time, and I don't think it's that much better. It's just a big mall.
I hear the chat wants us to go on a road trip. We could
No,
go
no,
to West Edmonton Mall, and then the boys can be back in town. Why would we go on
a road trip when you've already photoshopped yourself going to various cool places? Saving us the time and gas and effort to go on a road trip. So why would we go?
Oh, wait.
I don't know. I don't think I would want to go to West Edmonton Mall. There's not much in it to do in Edmonton.
There's not
like,
much
the
to do
mall
in Edmonton. There's not much to do in Canada.
No, I mean, yeah. Canada is one of those. It's a beautiful, like we have a beautiful country. Like you can go out to Banff, go out to like Jasper. Oh, okay, maybe not Jasper, but like to Canmore, go into the mountains. There's a lot of beautiful places and scenic places to go and hang out, do hiking. If you're more of an outdoors kind of a person, then I guess that'd be great. That's probably the main thing. If you like to hike, go camping, off-roading, trails, and all that fun stuff, that's probably the better aspect. But if you want more urban, then well, I wouldn't say Calgary for urban. I would say probably Vancouver or Toronto for urban.
Yeah,
urban
yeah. I feel like those are the only two urban destinations. And Vancouver, I would argue, is far better than Toronto. Montreal's not that good. Like the island itself is okay. I found Montreal to be very weird because half of the island is like the old Montreal area where you can go and see all the history of Montreal, but that's a tourist trap. I've gone to Quebec City, which puts old Montreal to shame. Fucking shame.
Quebec City is
it's so much more beautiful. There's less people trying to like scam you and do all those sorts of tours that aren't really tours and stuff. I don't know if you've ever fallen for like a tourist scam or not. I see them all the time online, and holy shit, that's so bad. But Montreal seems like there's way so many scammers, and aside from that, the rest of the island is fine. But I don't know if I'd ever want to go to Montreal just for a city experience.
No, I would probably say Vancouver ultimately is the more better balanced choice because of like the density, the more I guess Asian culture. The food is good if you go to like the Richmond area, because Kamir and I went there,
or the Stanley Park area.
Saturday, yeah, so that's Stanley Park. Even just like walking around, like the UBC campus was very beautiful. We spent like just the day there, and it was great. So I think Vancouver just wins.
That's fair.
As much as I like, I'm like, yeah, Calgary, but it's also like, yeah, well, man, Calgary's nice and all, but Vancouver's so much nicer. If it wasn't so expensive to live there.
Did you see the comment on Mix It Up? Because I know you also use Mix It Up bot. Did you see the developer comments?
Yes, I did see that.
I'm glad to see that they're going to be updating Mix It Up bot. However, seeing as their team dropped to one person, that was one of the main reasons I got Mix It Up bot, because Streamer bot only had one person, one dev. I'm glad they had multiple so that one person can still be developing Mix It Up. I don't know if they really need to put more development effort into it. I just want their text to voice to text or whatever, text to speech to be working again.
One of the big factors, like because like over the past few months, I've been kind of keeping an eye on their Discord and be like, it's been a while since I've seen anything. Like it was like at least 6 months since they have any major releases or any communications talking about anything at all. Because like the last major thing that they were going to do was push out their Mix It Up online thing and then like do registrations for that. But we haven't seen anything about like staff leaving, devs leaving. It was just radio silence. And then of course like their Discord is mostly community run or volunteer run. So like if you had questions, people would try to answer, and generally you would get something, but for such a long time, it was just like, do I need to start looking at StreamerBot? Because at least, StreamerBot had updates, was more current. But the fact that, yeah, they did push out that update to kind of explain that, like it's just the one person, but at the very least, they're still going to continue to work on it. I think that's still promising. The bulk of the functionality is there. It still works. It's working great for the most part. Like you're saying, like, oh, now he's here. Maybe some of the things like the TTS isn't working properly or has issues. But these are at least like small enough that one developer can fix and focus on, and if they need to, they can probably see if there's any other volunteer developers who can also help them. But I would say for now, I'm just hopeful. I'm gonna keep an eye on it and hope that that they're successful, and hopefully they get the eyes on their Patreon and get the extra support they need for financial support. Because yeah, that's a it's a good motivator to be paid for what you're doing, especially if it's supporting so many streamers.
I'm smiling over here because I'm thinking in my head right now how this is all currently being recorded and it's going to go on YouTube. And in a couple months or a year, we can look back and see exactly how well that opinion has aged or not aged. We can look as if it was wine or not and go, Lambo spelt out the disaster or the success of Mix It Up Bot.
Or it just aged like milk. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to have to switch to a different bot because, like, all of my stuff, all of my redeems, all of my, like, everything for my channel.
Would you set everything all up, or would some things get lost?
I'm pretty sure some things would absolutely get lost. I think that as long as you have some level of coding, like a grasp of coding, so you can probably set up most anything in StreamerBot just as well. It's just that maybe some redeems here and there might not translate as well visually or whatever.
But you would try your best to keep everything, is what you're saying.
I would try my best to try to import everything over. Like it would be a 4D chess move if StreamerBot's dev made it some sort of an import function to convert over Mix It Up commands and redeems. But I'm not gonna just.
I hope that the StreamerBot devs watch this this podcast and go, "Oh, that's a good idea. Write that down."
Because like we when we started originally, we used Streamlabs, the Streamlabs chatbot for our bots, and that was awful. But it was all that we generally that's all that we had at the time, and getting it to work was kind of a pain. It had virtually no support because Streamlabs never really cared to support, because I think they had purchased or bought a different bot prior and then just renamed it. Yeah, Ankbot, that was what it was. And then they
I only used Streamlabs because they had the best hoodies. I went around to each different merch store before Fourth Wall came around, and they had the Champion brand of hoodies. So I was like, I like that hoodie. It's the only hoodie I really liked, mostly because every hoodie that I typically buy are like those compressed fit shit, and I don't like that. A hoodie's supposed to be baggy. It's supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be something that you put on and it doesn't remind you that you're fat every moment that you're wearing it, and then you go, I hate this. It is hugging me way too much. And a lot of the fabrics I found with hoodies like pulled my chest hair out, and the Champion brand did not do that. So I'm just going to say that's why I went with Streamlabs. And then they lost the contract with Champion because Fourth Wall came around. And so I made the swap purely because I like the Champion brand.
Yeah,
however,
they're
Champion not cheap.
Hoodies. No, they're definitely not cheap. I mean, I still like, well, most of my hoodies are Champion hoodies, and I love them. They're good hoodies. But no, yeah, it was definitely like, I tried to use Streamlabs chatbot, and then that lost support. That never really worked fully for like my vtubing
and it
stuff,
always disconnected, so that you have to read their new terms of service.
Oh gosh, I hate it. I hated using it. But yeah, eventually I switched over to like Leorin board for a while to get a lot of my like vtuber redeems working, and then it was kind of clunky, so I eventually switched over to Mix It Up because I heard that was a lot easier to use and a lot more reliable. Plus it had like the dev support and things like that, and a lot of other vtubers were jumping on board using it as well. So that's kind of where I landed. So I hope that it's around for a long time to come, because I don't want to switch things over again. It's a lot of work. It is.
Oh my god, it's so much work.
So much time invested in just porting things over, and it was just like, I don't want to do this ever again. But if I have to, I guess I will. But
I tell you, if I had to swap bots, one thing that would drop very easily is a lot of the sound effects. I would not go through and remake those all over again.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't even get used.
Yeah, you have like a ton of old ones that just, probably, if you've only like, I don't know if you know if Mix It Up has like a counter, like an internal counter to see like how many times the things get used, but probably, there's probably a few that haven't been touched in like years even. I know I have a bunch.
To be fair, they're very specific, but I feel like I have, if you ever wanted to make a sound effect, all you got to do is toss an excitement mark in front of a word and you'll have it. Yep. But that was what I was going for, is because I wanted people to be able to make noise, but then people made too much noise, and then I took their toys away.
What? You would never take toys away.
I would. I absolutely would. Are you kidding me? I took all their toys away today to do this podcast.
I can't believe it.
Though, what is
I'm
your opinion on that? Would you watch or care for this podcast if I let chat make noise during it, so that people were moving?
Oh, man, it would be a sensory nightmare for some. Also, I'm just watching like your riot thing go off, but it was just.
It's not on my scene. Oh my god, I forgot that's on your scene. Oh my god.
It's it would probably be too distracting. Like if they went the bit rate for yours. I don't know. Like I guess that's why like you can't hear any of my redeems at the moment. Is for like a podcast format. It's way too distracting. All the random noises, the sheep noises, the sounders, the nokos, the fish. It's way too much. For just the podcast, it needs to be a little bit less.
Yeah, and I don't want to change the cooldowns on every single one to make it so that they don't find the one that I forgot to change and has no cooldown, and then they just spam it. But I can always turn it on and off whenever I want. Like, I could turn it on right now and they could make noise, but I choose not to, because I feel like people who would want to watch this would want to watch it for you and me and not for chat going moo, 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 honk, honk.
It would be an editing nightmare. Just to,
I'm not actually doing too much editing on these episodes because I like the raw conversations. I don't want to really chop them up or try and make them more entertaining. I'd much rather become more entertaining, which is part of the whole process here. But I'm just chopping out the ending and the beginning so that it's a straight to the interview, straight to the conversation, and that's about it. Because to me, the effort of having to download the stream or at least record the stream and hope that the recording goes properly and that I have enough space for the conversation. The text to speech isn't working. It's supposed to. I'll fix that for next time. But yeah, it's a matter of me trying to make sure that I can download it properly, open it up into Premiere Pro, do the chop off of both ends, add any background music. I don't think I want background music because there's no 2-hour-long uncopyrighted podcast music. It's not very good. And then I'd have to export it, which would take at least 2 hours to export and then upload when I can just direct upload straight from Twitch to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, which one am I going to put more effort into? But I did think about like
the download and edit.
I did think about getting like a title song, like an intro song to the podcast so that people aren't just going in raw like we do. But I also don't want to make an AI song because that's where I would go these days.
I mean, eventually you can probably look at putting something together for that in terms of an intro song or a scene or whatnot before you jump right in. But, kind of see how you, settle for the podcast format.
I could play it live on air, though. Interesting. I'm an idiot. I was thinking I'd have to edit that in afterwards, but I could just literally be like, hey, Lambo, we're going to play a 3-minute intro. Then we'll start the show. Okay? All right. Wait for 3 minutes.
100%.
I could literally do that.
Just take a quick break and then come back.
Dot's asking if I wanted an AI song for this. I have a lot of opinions on AI songs. My first one is that every AI song that I've heard for streamers has been complete rubbish. Like, I would much rather hear silence than listen to AI songs. You know what I mean? What is your
Yeah.
opinions on every streamer getting an AI song for their stream?
I actually honestly have never heard most of them. I haven't actually found any streamers that use AI songs yet, but I also
There's
don't
so
go around
many.
looking for them. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of unique in the sense that I haven't found them,
Maybe it's just the
or
makers and crafting community, but like Dot's not makers and crafting. But I know a lot of makers and crafters that have their own AI songs made from them. And I've never liked a single one because every single AI song that I've heard so far feels so cringe, so forced that it's not a good experience. It's like, how do I best put this? If it was like you coming to my stream to promote yourself compared to me promoting you on my stream, that's the difference in a regular artist versus AI artist. The AI is basically you building up your own ego, prompting what you want to talk about the stream.
yeah,
It's inorganic. It doesn't feel good. And that's where I'm getting the cringe factor from, is just like, this isn't hitting home because this isn't what your chat actually thinks of your stream. This might be what your like ideal is, but you're not there. A lot of people aren't there. And then they drop inside jokes to the stream that don't hit at all.
yeah. I think a big factor is that. Well, I mean, but what I do know of AI is could just be that they're not using a good enough prompt that is not just glazing them all the time. So maybe a better prompt to create those songs would
I feel like
help.
you have to have somebody from outside the stream make it, because
but like,
then it's
you're not
not
necessarily
forced.
get someone to describe your stream well enough to bring someone in just based on the song. But I don't know if a song is going to be necessarily what does it anyways. It's just a single instance or single glimpse for your stream.
I also feel like most
they
people
can
are
sit
too
through it.
boring to have more than that single glimpse into their stream.
I guess that's possible too.
Like, imagine somebody who just plays one single game and has no viewership at all, and is struggling. They make an AI song about how they play that one single game. It's not a good song.
I mean, I guess the question is like, how long are these songs, anyways? Is it like
Usually
a minute?
2 to 3 minutes.
Like a full on, like a full length song then?
Yeah.
I feel like for something like if you're just generating music with AI, it needs to just be a very short, like maybe a jingle at most. If you're gonna put on like
you can't play a jingle to start a stream. You want the whole song. I would argue a 1 minute song is good enough to start a stream. I don't think you need a lot of time. I play a 3 minute song because I'm setting stuff up. I'm trying to make sure my audio's working, that there's no hiccups before I start going live.
Ad out of the way.
Yeah, get the ads, put pants on if I need to, start anything else up. You know, I do stuff for that 3 minutes, and I keep it to a 3 minute. I know people that do half-hour starts to their stream, and that's crazy.
No, half an hour is. I'd be gone. Be like,
I could see trying to condense it to a minute.
Yeah, a minute would be fine if it's just for like a proper just an intro, and a minute would be okay. Like, I don't see the point in doing 3 minutes personally. Like, it can just be like a minute of like actual. Well, I don't know. It just
if I was to do an intro for this podcast, I don't think I would do an AI song. I think I would take snippets of good sections of conversations I've had already on the podcast, and I would stitch it all together to hype it up.
They'd be hooks. Like, like for short-term content, just be like the way to hook you in while you're waiting. That'd be the main thing. It's everything's about hooks.
Likely do an AI song though. I thought about it several times because I was like, I don't want to have to try and get somebody to make a good song. Denikai did one for the show, which was fantastic before AI was even a thing. And I say that song even can be cringe specifically for me because it talks bad about me. I actually prefer it over AI because it shows the creativity. It is from somebody. It isn't from me. It's not talking about how great I am. It's talking about how mean I am.
Yeah, I mean, a big factor is like while AI is cool in terms of like, you can hear songs under like different like a different artist singing like a classic song or something like that makes it sound cool. It's neat. I think I would prefer personally like to have an actual person create the music in the first place, but then that would probably be someone that is viewing your content from like a third perspective, or like a third person, because
a
it's not
different
just
one
you
from the
directing
viewer
it.
perspective.
Yeah,
Even
from the viewer
is
perspective,
better.
as opposed to like
Even if
us,
it's
because
a completely disassembled from your stream, a third
it
party
keeps us
completely.
humble. Yeah,
Yes. Like I
because
would argue a
we're
guy
just
from
directing
Fiverr
it.
would be better.
Yeah, I guess. But like, there's no stopping the guy from Fiverr just doing this, throwing it all together on AI,
That's
just the same.
literally why I wouldn't think about hiring a guy from Fiverr, is because they're
Yeah.
just going to toss it in AI and I'm going to have AI generated song again.
Mhm.
But I have so many opinions on the AI songs. I don't know if it's because I'm salty because I had Denikai make one for me and that feels so much better, and that I feel like it's cheapened or lesser because everybody has a stream song now. At least everybody I've listened to recently has one. And I gotta say, all those songs I still say suck because a lot of them try and build into the brand that people don't keep anymore. Like, what is your brand? What do people think of when they think about SASLambo stream?
That is, I always have like difficulties looking at my own brand and being like, oh yeah, this is what I do. I mean, I claim to be a variety streamer, but I mostly just play Yakuza, and then that's kind of like a running joke. It's just like that's just what I do. I play a variety of games that are mostly there's a variety of Yakuza games, and then everything else is just chaos. It's just a combination of those things, and I can't necessarily tell you that I have a brand per se. Like, I don't even know what my brand would be.
Do you think that would
I have
make your
difficulties.
stream better if you did have a brand? Because like mine
I
is
don't
angry
know.
Canadian bald man shouts at cloud.
It's a
Everybody
good
knows that.
brand. That's a good one. It might help in the sense of like something to solidify or anchor my content or my stream to, and then branch out from there. But uh, at the same time, I don't know. It's really just a matter of like how you want to build your niche, right? I
But
I
can
don't
you
know.
build a niche off of not having any generic brand? Like as far as I get from the third person perspective for your stream, it is mostly about how it's chaos and mischief. That is what I would say is your two. However, that's purely because of Lambie. Nothing else really feeds into the chaos and mischief.
No, I mean, well, the chaos and mischief would probably be chat, but like chat's the main character. I'm just here to facilitate that in that sense. But
Oh my god. Oh my god. Replace Lambie. Replace Lambie
replace
with
Lamby
chat.
with chat.
The main
How would I?
character chat, and chat gets to ask itself questions and it gets to answer it. And
There you
give it
go.
like the superhero cape and everything and just be like sidekick Lambo. Waka waka. I
Waka
feel like that
waka.
could go very well, that it is Lambo and chat.
Lambo and chat. There you go. Chat. Yeah, chat is the real main character. That's true. For
Brands
a
are
lot of streams.
extremely tough to get, though. And it is one thing that I've thought about you with, because you don't have a brand. And I don't even know how to be like, oh, Lambo, you should use this as your brand or anything like that, because you're all over the place. And I feel like that does take you back, because you are so all over the place that nobody
Yeah.
can really be like, oh, I want to go check out something today, so I want to go see spaghetti on the wall. Oh, I'll go see Lambo.
So Kitty on the wall would be perfect, actually. No, it's tough. Like I look at my own content and I struggle to be like, well, what is my brand? And I struggle with that all the time. Whenever people ask like, well, what do you do on your stream? It's like, that's a good question. I'm not sure what I do half the time. Sometimes I'm playing my gotcha game. Sometimes I'm playing Yakuza. Sometimes I'm playing hashtag not Yakuza. Or then Helldivers or whichever.
How do you even decide
And
what the fuck you're playing? Because you're playing some fucking mascot simulator?
yeah, Promise Mascot Agency is what I'm playing right now. One of the main reasons why I'm playing it is actually because of Raboyo. He donated for me to like a while back, like $100 or something like that. It's just like for something just to support the stream. But like I kind of felt bad. He also suggested that I play this game a little bit before that. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to just be like, well, here's $100 for nothing. I'm like, I'm just gonna play the game and see how I enjoy it. And because at the time I've been playing Yakuza, and I have been playing Yakuza for such a long time, it's like it's been, I want to say at least 4 or 5 years since I started playing Yakuza 0. and I've worked all the way up to Pirate Yakuza, and I've finally beat that. And it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? I kind of wanted a break from Yakuza just for a little bit before I go back and play like the last 3 games before they come out with another one.
Holy shit, 3 more games you have to play? My God, bro. My God.
But they're not
You've been playing those for fucking 4 years. Every fucking stream.
Like these aren't the mainline games anymore. They're like the side
yeah, okay, whatever.
The spin-offs.
There's still 3 more games.
There's still 3 more spin-offs.
I played the entire Baldur's Gate series before you finished Yakuza.
There's a lot of content, but there's so much content. But yeah, I was like, I need a slight break, something slightly different. And then Promised Mascot Agency was suggested. I think Lissa played it a while back. I never really looked into it much because it was just like, okay, there's because she plays a lot of different games. But I think Rabo saw that it was something that I would be interested in. And the moment I launched into it and I totally got it and understood what he meant is that, well, one, the protagonist is voiced by none other than Kazuma Kiryu, the main character from Yakuza. So it's just like, oh, well, there you go. I have to really like this. And of course, all the characters are Yakuza, although you immediately become ex-Yakuza to run a mascot agency. So it's just, that was kind of what jumps in. And kind of grabbed me. And it was like, okay, this is at the very least it's a shorter game comparatively, and you get to drive around.
You've been playing it for a month though.
Well, I mean, between playing the other games in between and like real life stuff happening, it's not like I've been like playing it for a full month straight.
But how do you pick your games though? It's just been Yakuza and whatever you play on Thursday with the boys. And this new mascot game.
Yeah. How do I pick my games? I think mostly I don't. Mostly I don't. I'll see like what I have.
You literally need to make chat your fucking brand. Chat picks for you. Chat picks the game. Chat does everything. You could lean into that so hard.
For me. Yeah. No. Chat does pick a lot of stuff for me. They kind of influence like well, like when I did my charities, I guess milestones or incentives last year, a lot of them would be like chat picks, like what games that I would play, and that would kind of dictate a lot of it for a while. So I would play. I did play Graveyard Keeper for a little bit.
It was a good game.
It was a great game. I need to finish it at some point. But beyond like Graveyard Keeper, there were some other like smaller games that Chad had recommended, and I would just kind of cycle through those that way to at least give me a palate cleanser so I can kind of jump from different game to different game. But like I've always been at my core, I just want to continue playing and just getting through the Yakuza games. So it's kind of like I'll go back to Yakuza for the bulk of it, and then when I need like a break, I'll pick something from chat. Or if it's like on like the Thursdays when I do my collabs with people, it'll be Helldivers or The Division or Division 2, whichever. And then I guess my Saturday thing lately has just been playing Girls Frontline 2, which has been fun too. So that's just what it is. Metaphor was there for a bit too. So like I do like playing a lot of different games. I'm very indecisive, so chat forcing me to play different games helps in that respect. I do also have a huge like Steam library, so it's hard for me to pick easily. And then of course sometimes chat will like be like, "Oh, Lambo, I bought this game for you. You want to play it?" I'm like, no. I feel bad if I don't. So I'll at least try it for a bit.
So what game are you the most excited for getting released that isn't Yakuza?
That's tough.
It is, especially seeing as Gamescom was literally this weekend and they announced so many games. I'm excited for Dawn of War 4, as I mentioned last week.
It counts as Yakuza because I looked at the video trailer or teaser for it. It is the next title from RGG Studios, which does produce Yakuza. I think it was originally known as Project Century, and it's now I think it came out with a name called Stranger Than Heaven. But it is pretty Yakuza coded. I think it's set in like 1915 Japan, so it's a little bit more of a different time, a little bit more brutal too.
So you're not going to play Elden Ring?
I played Elden Ring once, and I mean it was okay. I think I prefer. I think I prefer Ghost of Tsushima personally in terms of like the style of game. It's not as hardcore as Elden Ring though.
Elden Ring isn't that hardcore in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
I just hate that it broke my computer and won't play.
It broke your computer?
It didn't break my computer. Windows updated my video card driver, which made the game no longer able to load. So I have to play it on my older computer with a worse video card. And that's not going so well because that video card has a lot of graphical issues with the game. So it hasn't broke my computer, but it's more of a, if I didn't have two computers as a streamer, I would have refunded that game in a heartbeat. And I would have left a negative ass review. And it's amazing because I didn't realize that problem was so prevalent with Elden Ring until I was looking for solutions on how people fix this. It's clearly over 100 people, 100 different threads on how to fix it, which half of them are get rid of Epic Games and it fixed it, which didn't work for me.
Yeah. I honestly haven't been like keeping up with a lot of new game like releases for.
Why not? There's so many good games coming out.
I think it's partly because like I have this backlog that I'm still working through that it's hard for me to be like, okay, what else is coming out in like a few months or next year, because like, well, I still have like 3 or 4 Yakuza titles to play through, in addition to like I don't know how many hundreds of games in my Steam library. It's just like I have so many of these games that I'm already playing that I'm already not playing that I haven't even had a chance to look at the new ones that are coming out next year or the year after that. Like I'll occasionally hear things from the community or Discord or wherever in general, be like, oh, someone's super excited about some game, and I might take a peek and be like, oh, what's this about? And it's like a shooter game, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Although I will say that I did jump into Battlefield 6 briefly with the boys on one of the previous weeks, and it was really fun. I actually enjoyed.
But there's cheating cat girls in that game.
Cheating cat girl? I never encountered any cheating cat girls.
There was this whole YouTube thing about how somebody was a VTuber cat girl and was cheating, and apparently people were saying they were or weren't cheating. It was a big ordeal.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. I stopped paying attention to Twitter or YouTube or whatever.
The only reason I paid attention to that was because it was such a new game. How do you have cheats already? But then it was like every Battlefield, every Call of Duty's been the same. They're recycled year after year. It's not hard to cheat on one to the next.
Well, I think it's partly because it's still built on the same or the previous engine that Battlefield was on. So it's not like it would be difficult for them to create cheats or whatever on it anyways. But in any case, I did enjoy playing it. And I haven't played... The last Battlefield game I had played was, I think, 3? Maybe 4?
Mine was 1942.
Yeah, but I did like 1942.
A lot of my shooter games ended with the 1942 era, like Modern Warfare. I didn't really play. I played Call of Duty 2 a lot. Beyond that, most of the shooters I played was like Counter-Strike. I can't think of another shooter. I never played Valorant.
2 was my only other major shooter that I played, but it wasn't even like the full game. I played the multiplayer demo was what I had spent like countless hours playing.
I feel like I played way too much Team Fortress 2.
Oh, I never got into Team Fortress 2.
Oh, it's such a good game.
I never got into it. It was just never like, at least like my friend group never played it. We had always played Command and Conquer, Red Alert, as well as StarCraft. We would play a lot of StarCraft and Command and Conquer Red Alert. Those were our main ones. Eventually, we played a lot of Generals because Generals is superior to a lot of RTS games.
I don't fully support that. It's an interesting multiplayer because of the different Generals makes so many different ways that it can be played. But I still think that, before Yuri's Revenge, Red Alert 2 was one of the better in the series.
I didn't enjoy Red Alert 2 that much. But to be fair, I never played the multiplayer much because, nobody else got it. So it was like, oh, okay. It would have just been me. So I think it was more that everybody played Generals was why I kept playing Generals and enjoyed it. I would always just play as, shocker, China, and run around with like the Overlord tanks crushing everything.
I'm sorry.
That was my thing.
The GLA still is better.
No.
Yeah, AK-47s
until
for
you
everyone.
upgraded them and they all had shoes, and then they would be way better there.
What's wrong with giving your people shoes? Is a great upgrade.
Yeah. No, the GLA was pretty fun to deal with. But no, I really enjoyed playing through all those games. It's shooters were, I don't know, I had a complicated relationship with shooters. I think like after I played so much Fortnite, it was just like, nah, I'm done. It's just stop
I have
playing.
played Fortnite recently. I don't consider that a shooter because I consider it more arcadey. Yeah, I played it with Chin Cult TV.
Oh, nice. I guess the last time I played Fortnite was with you when we did the
And
Dragon
you got
Ball.
the sponsorship items and I got nothing. And I hated
I don't
you.
know how
You had
I
Goku
got
and
those.
shit.
Yeah, I had Goku and Vegeta, like both the skins. And I was like, how come you didn't get it? We had the same sponsorship.
Not salty about that one at all. Speaking of sponsorships and the state of streaming, how do you feel about streaming these days?
I feel like it's just a fun little side hobby. I don't really have any strong feelings about it. I look at it in terms of like, at least from my level, I'm just a small tiny streamer. I don't exactly have a lot of opportunities.
Guy.
I'm just a little guy. I'm also like you, shadow banned from quote unquote stream elements, which is interesting to see there. A lot of complaints now with their new grab tap thing that they came out with.
What is that?
It's like this new program. We're gonna just be like just throwing shade at stream elements here. It's this new program that came out in lieu or in I guess as an alternative to their sponsorships because like they don't always necessarily have them available, but they wanted the system in place for anybody to just join in. You get to earn these points, and then you can redeem these points for gift cards by playing those very same games that they would show up in those sponsorships, like the Monopoly ones or like the I don't know the whatever match 3 games that they would obviously like they would previously offer, and then you would go through do these challenges with your community, whether it was beat whatever certain levels, and then you would get these points, and then you X number of points you could redeem for these gift cards, and then that would be it. But I'm seeing a lot of people attempting to redeem these gift cards get nothing because they would be like the stream elements would just be like, oh, due to some vague TOS thing, you fail to meet your challenge, and therefore you get nothing.
So it's a scam like every other one. I remember those so many times when smartphones started coming around. I'm sure you remember them too. Play this mobile game and we'll pay you for how long you play it. And you can possibly win $100 to Amazon or Google or whatever. And nobody ever fucking got anything out of those. There's no way you can pay somebody to play a game.
No.
Except a sponsorship.
Brutal. No. But like, it's not even like Stream Elements was never like a real sponsorship in the first place. It was just always like a affiliate marketing, as we would know. But to be fair, like the only times it would really be like affiliate or actual like sponsorships would be like if someone offered like a game code or a key or something to play their game for a bit. That'd probably be the only actual sponsorship that I've taken lately or recently. But even then, I haven't. I've mostly ignored them because a lot of the games are things that I don't necessarily want to play or necessarily care to play because it's like, okay, I mean, maybe it'd be entertaining or fun, but it's not my quote unquote brand or not something that interests me. And that's a big factor. Like if it was something that I would actually be excited for or whatnot, then be like, yeah, okay, sure. I'll hop on and try it out. I'm happy to, use the key or gift out the keys for people, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot in terms of like the sponsorship or like the streaming realm at the moment. I mean, the one major thing in the streaming realm that like I'm sure that we're aware of is that monetization is out there for everybody now, and anybody that wants to for streaming. So I think the difference is that they're monetized is that they don't get to cash out their money. It's just in their dashboard. They can use it on other streamers. They can spend the bits that they earn.
They can buy TwitchCon tickets with it.
They can
buy the TwitchCon tickets that are paid.
They can buy TwitchCon tickets.
Pay a payaway. What is that? You pay per month. I forget the term for it. They
like
pay
like
per
a finance.
Yeah, you finance your TwitchCon tickets. That's when you know your event is too fucking expensive. Yeah, I can't buy your tickets all at once. I gotta pay for them over 4 months. Oh my
This jacket
goodness.
monetization. I mean, maybe. I think that was the way I saw the marketing was that you could stream with your channel, get monetized, and then if you could use that money, if you earned any, to support your own favorite streamers with that, but by gifting bits or subs or whatever, and that was the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not a
Currently,
big
anyway.
fan of the current setup with Twitch with the not the sponsorship, the subscriptions being increased in price. That was
Oh, it's
killer.
so expensive. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
there's
think
so many
they're
fewer
so
channels that
crazy
I
on
subscribe
that.
to now.
And the fact that I'm a partner and I'm on their partner Discord and I see some of the comments that they make from the monetization stream, it gives me some bad outlook for Twitch and the current state of streaming. I don't know if that's
Mm.
against my Twitch partnership not to bring up those commentaries, but I'm gonna do it anyways. We'll see, guys. If I get banned, you know why.
Yikes.
But they were things like how they were targeting people that weren't currently watching the stream for gift subs, because then the people that are still following you would come in and watch ads, and those ads would encourage them to get subs. And I found conversations like that from Twitch staff to be wholly disgusting. Wholly disgusting. That they're currently forcing more and more ads on people to encourage them to subscribe so that they don't get the ads. And then I'm just like, why would they subscribe when they can just buy Turbo?
Yeah. My thing is like, if you want to support the platform and the streamer, the best way to do it is probably just get Turbo.
Yeah,
There are
and
other ways to get around it, but Turbo is the official way.
did you see that they're playing with the gifting of Turbo now?
No, I didn't see that actually. That's not a terrible idea, I guess.
It's not a terrible idea because you can gift a Turbo for basically the cost of 2 subs.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I could easily see gifting a Turbo out compared to gifting a sub to my stream out, because more people would want a Turbo sub compared to people who want a sub to my stream.
Yeah, exactly. And supposedly, like, the Turbo user still contributes to the ad revenue as well. So
It does,
not that
but
that's a good ton, but
did
it's
you
still
see
there.
how controversial that pay is?
No, I didn't see that.
So there was a thing with, I think it was Zach Busey. He might have had some help with it. Regardless, there was a thing where Twitch was changing how much your Twitch Turbo pay was up to a week after your stream. So it would say something like you made $15 off Twitch Turbo for this stream. Then the next day it would be like $13. Then the next day would be $9. And then by the end of the week, you're only making $5 off Twitch Turbo. And so people got very upset as to why the cost goes down like that. And the only speculation was like that the Twitch Turbo goes into a pool and is distributed from there. And so they're trying to judge how the pool pays out. I didn't find, or at least I didn't see that there was a satisfactory answer to how Twitch Turbo actually changes their cost. But yeah, it's caused a lot of drama on how are people getting paid for the Twitch Turbo. It's interesting.
Yeah. No, that is interesting. I'd be curious to see if they do find out like how the money gets distributed after that. But I don't know. We don't get any insight into that unless we were part of Twitch. But that ain't gonna be happening.
Well, they're doing a little bit better on communication with the Twitch partners and the partner Discord. I'm glad for it. However, I'm going to throw everybody who's in that Twitch partner Discord under the bus. The Canadian partners, we only talk about the weather and where in Canada we're from. So if another Canadian partner gets partnered, they go, "Hi, everyone, I'm a new partner, and I'm from Edmonton. Where are you guys from?" And everybody will say, "Oh, I'm from Toronto. I'm from Quebec. I'm from Toronto. Oh, boy, it's got forest fires here, and it's 25 degrees over here. It's nice. It's, oh, my God, can we talk about Twitch things, not the weather and not where we're from?" And then the conversations on, like, the sponsorships, they're doing stuff with the bounty board. But the problem I have with the bounty board, and this goes for a lot of people that are full-time content, not full-time content creators, the bounty board only gets updated at 2 o'clock my time, which is Mountain Time, which is 4 o'clock Eastern. People who have a job can't go in and check the bounty board for what the new bounties are, which is stupid. And they have limited slots and they're first come, first serve.
Oh, that seems kind of silly. They should at least spread out the time distribution for them, just so that you're not just limited to the one time slot. That doesn't make sense to me. But
I see why it makes sense. You update it and it goes live when it goes live. You'd have to put work in to make it like every 8 hours it releases more seats or something, which I think would be more fair, but it is what it is. I also know I don't apply for a lot of those bounties because they are viewership related.
There you go. It's
Yes.
always about that number.
Now I just need to get view bots like Twitch allows, and then I can probably get those viewership numbers. I tell you what. How do you feel about that view bot thing? Have you cared about that at all?
I've only looked at it a little bit. I just saw in a few instances in terms of like the news, or I guess Twitch news, if you can call it news, that like some of the larger streamers would be using view bots, and I guess that's how they compete at that level, right? I don't know. It's always been this conversation with view bots. It's like it's pretty obvious when you're using it.
Even as a small streamer,
especially as a small streamer, it's just like it's never a good feeling either. Be like, well, you look into a stream that's using viewbots, you're just like, I don't know, dude.
I compare it a lot to the AI songs, how it feels very inorganic and kind of cringy.
Yeah, exactly. Leave me my bots alone. Okay, but no, it doesn't feel good, and it's not something I would, like I don't have any idea as to like the number of view bots that are actually being utilized, and like, all right, how
I don't
much
think
they're
we'll
being
ever
utilized.
know how many view bots are actually being utilized because small streamers do it too, not usually to this scale as the large streamers. But I have seen people be view botted or are view botting. I usually say people are being view botted because you can hardly ever prove that it's a streamer themselves view botting.
Yeah.
And there are situations where people are vindictive or think they're helping a stream by view botting, which you kind of are helping the stream because you can get better viewership, better sponsorships, better blah, blah. But it's not good health for the stream because usually people don't want to associate with view botters. But I've seen people get view botted for like 10, 20 viewers. In fact, one of our mutual acquaintances had been view botted for several months, according to him. Yeah. And that was an ongoing thing that basically killed his channel.
Yep, that's true. It was not a good not a good time for anybody involved there. And especially watching it from the outside, you're just like, well, you can't really help or do anything about it either. You can just be like, well, we see it, but
Yeah. You can't do anything about it. You can't talk somebody out of viewbotting either. I don't know where I stand on it. I know I looked at viewbotting once myself because you get those bots in your channel all the time that says, hey, best viewers, cheap viewers, blah, blah. I clicked the link just to see if it was a bad link or not. And then I found out the price, and it's way too much money, in my professional opinion, to viewbot, because it was something like $2 for 50 viewers per hour, which for a 4-hour stream, that's $8. And then you stream 3-4 times a week, you're adding up. It's like $100 for 50 viewers for a month. I'm not going to lie. The amount of pay that you get from from subscribers these days, it's not a good return on investment.
No, it's a terrible idea.
But I thought about it because I know I've been shrinking as a streamer. And so my ego, I look at the viewers and go, oh no, my viewership's down yet again. Oh no, I suck again. And I was like, I could just viewbot myself for $100 a month. And then I thought, man, that is dirty. That's not how I want to play. However, if somebody viewbotted me, I don't think I would be offended. I don't think I would be like, oh no, somebody's viewbotting my stream's over. No. I need to fix this. I feel like it would just be like, well, it's not me doing it. So if somebody else wants to viewbot me, that's your money. Go ahead. I will brag about my viewership after that and be like, I don't care if it's a viewbot or not. Give me that extra 50 viewers.
Is that like a hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge?
No,
Nudge?
God, no. Guys, there's so many better ways to support the stream. Like if you have
Yeah, no.
$100 and you're going to throw
Actually,
it
no.
at my stream, put it in my PayPal. Give me 50 or what is that, 20 subs now? 20 subs, pay 20 subs. That's so much better because then I get paid. People get no ads. It's so many better ways than view botting. But I would not be offended if somebody did
Would
view
not
bot
be
me.
offended. Oh, you heard it here first. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's sponsors that view bot you out there, like the Mahoyo and other view botters out there. They will boost you up for their sponsorships.
I guess it's, well, are they actually doing that, or are they just like posting it? Oh yeah,
that was confirmed by several streamers that were partners with Mihoyo. They commented about how they would view bot their streams. People from AT&T also confirmed that they were getting told by the sponsors, "We'll be view botting your stream."
Interesting.
So it's not uncommon. I feel like it's so common that that's why Twitch accepts it. And I'm surprised they actually went against view bots because that was a big killer on a lot of people's viewerships the past couple weeks.
Yeah, that is enlightening, I guess, in a way. But also, yeah, like you said, not surprising either.
I'm glad that they are tackling the viewbot problem because I feel like viewbots cheapen the entire experience for everybody on this platform. You know, from the ads, I get the whole purpose. Like I ran the raid sponsorship sponsors because I wanted to milk them for all the money that it was worth. But when you're scamming the ads, obviously people are not getting their money's worth, and then you're not going to have as many sponsorships, and then people aren't going to make as much money, and then people bow out of streaming. It's a trickle down effect that isn't good. And then the difference in the viewership competition that maybe I'm actually better than a lot of these people out there that could be view botting that we never would have known.
Yeah, but there's no way to know, and you can't prove it either, which is, of course, But it's also like, is it really worth the time and effort to like sit there? And it always boils back to the whole comparison is the thief of joy thing. Like, you just don't have time to look at the other channels.
True. I stopped comparing myself to a lot of people, especially when I was pushing for partner. I found that was incredibly toxic because there were so many people that would compare my numbers to even the partnership level. And that's where the theft of joy came in. Typically, I don't care about my viewership. I look at it as how funny am I being in this moment? How good of a streamer have I been? If my viewership keeps going down like it has been, I know exactly why. It's because I put in more effort into content creation, specifically on YouTube, and that's been eating my attention and my ability to improve the stream and do better streaming because I'm putting my effort elsewhere. Because I'm not going to lie, I've reached the pinnacle of Twitch getting partner. Where else can I go?
Yeah, that is a... They put that as the big the big milestone on the pedestal, and then once you reach it, it's like, what do you do next, right? Like,
what do you do next?
What can you chase after next? And there's no tangible thing. You can just be like, oh, I'm gonna build like the channel to like X number of followers, or like, I don't care about followers.
It's not worth it. The amount of effort you have to put into a stream to grow it is huge. Like I would have to go to 4 streams a week, bare minimum, to see growth, in my opinion. 3 streams is like the treading water. Less than 3 streams, why are you even bothering?
Yeah, it's very much like that. Like, 3 streams is the maintenance, I guess, is one way to put it. But like, it's also, that boils back down to like, how much time you're willing or able to even put into the channel. And like,
well, I'm not putting that much time or effort in.
So much time. Yeah.
Because I don't think that there's a good market for streaming right now. I think it's very much on the downturn, and I don't see any sort of return on any sort of investment or effort into streaming at the moment. I see a lot of opportunity from YouTube even. And I think that YouTube has a lot of downsides, but that's why I've been putting a lot of effort in there. And I actually really love editing. I'm really bad at it, but I hope to get better every time I do an edit.
Yeah. Like I look at like, the streaming and like I guess entertainment in general. Like it's like if I wasn't watching a stream on Twitch and I wanted something to do, I would either be, I'd have my phone up, I'd be doom scrolling on TikTok or whatever, or I guess I would look at like videos on YouTube. whether it's like a longer one about I don't know, Helldivers or some scary game or something that just came out recently. But like there's still the fact that like live streamers is one of the, I guess, better forms of entertainment that I still go back to, despite that, you know, sometimes you just want to sit down and just watch a video. But it's like it's nice to go to like a small stream and have that one-on-one relationship with, or I guess one-on-one conversation. It's not necessarily a relationship with the streamer, and it's kind of nice to have that back and forth. And it's, you know, in relatively real time, and and like, you know, if they're talking about something that you care about, that you enjoy, it's really good entertainment in that respect. So that's kind of why I prefer. So it's kind of like the live stream, I guess, industry is very saturated. There's so many different options, different choices, whether you're going and looking at Twitch or the other platform, the green one, and then they have like the short form live ones like TikTok. It's just like there's
what
so many
about the red one? Talk about the red one. You can't just leave YouTube out. They're the ones who are probably going to watch this the most. I'm guaranteed this episode will get more views on YouTube than it will on Twitch. By the way, if you're on Twitch, click the link down there. Go follow the podcast, the podcast YouTube. You'll watch Ninakai's episode last week. You'll watch this episode by Tuesday next week.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah, there is the live aspect on YouTube as well. I guess if they could improve, if they could improve, like, I don't know.
They can
not necessarily improve. The live stream experience is fine, but it just doesn't feel the same.
I feel like they gave up on it a long time ago. Yeah. They signed up all those big contracts, and then somebody probably went, "This was stupid," and said, "No, stop it."
Why are we just printing and burning money? It's just like
exactly.
No,
holy cow, that was loud.
Oh,
what was that?
Oh, I see.
What do you see? Okay. Oh my God. I didn't realize that Streamlabs was still. So Streamlabs just made the alert. If you're on YouTube and you heard that nuclear missile being ready, apparently we got a donation to the stream through Streamlabs, and I forgot that I even had Streamlabs. So holy cow, that was loud. I will have to try and deal with that next time. I tell you what, boy, that was loud.
Look at the editing.
Yeah, I'm not going to edit that out.
Nope.
It's episode 2. Nobody's going to look for a long podcast. They're not going to get 2 hours into this and then be like, "Oh no, I got an alert. Somebody donated money to the stream."
The duality of Zam. Oh, go check out the YouTube, but also no one will look at the YouTube.
Not 2 hours in. They'll watch like 20 minutes and they'll probably be bored.
Minutes. Be like, these two nerds don't know what they're talking about. Click away.
Anyways, yeah, that was because I said to just give me money instead of spending it on ViewBots. So they gave me money for ViewBotting. That was a donation. I'm not going to spend that money on ViewBotting. I'm sorry.
And stream of ViewBots.
I mean, would you ever think about ViewBotting? Have you ever thought about it?
No. I mean, I like when the topic comes up, like the it just kind of like passes by and just like, oh, you could view bot for what X number. I'm like, no, it's too much work. I then fall back to like, Lambo's lazy. I don't care for it. It's just like I am gonna stream. I go live. People click in and watch me. Great. If they don't watch me, I'm still gonna be here doing my thing. That's basically it. That's me at the end of the day. It's great if they decide to watch me. It's great if, you know, as you've said before, a big number makes streamer happy. But like, you know, I'll be fine. I don't have any current aspirations to be a partner. Like the main push I would have ever been pushing for partner in the first place would have been like, oh yeah, I want more emotes. And then that'd be like, you know, that was it. But then now it's like they've given us so many emote slots that I'm just like, I don't know that I want to commission.
My hardest part is I filled up all my emotes and I paid out the nose for that because I wanted to get all the slots filled. And now whenever I touch an emote, people will get upset. I ruin their favorite emote. Even though Twitch says it's the least used emote on my stream, how dare I remove that in case they ever wanted to use it? Like right now, since we've been talking here, people want me to have a dirty underwear emote. And so I'd have to get rid of an emote to put that one in. Like, what would I get rid of to put a dirty underwear emote in? That's not feasible. But like,
Nope.
maybe I will.
Maybe you will. You just have to accept that someone out there or everyone out there will be very upset when you remove their favorite emote.
Yes, and that's dangerous. Always leave spots open so that you can be creative and on the fly is what I've learned.
Yep, I have two spots. I have one of each. One static, one animated open right now that I'm not.
So I should tell you to get the dirty underwear emote for the viewers that wanted it.
I hear nothing. No dirty underwear emotes at all. That's also no.
Okay, I did have another question because this hit me hard this last weekend. I was playing Elden Ring and I had a lot of things that went wrong during the stream. Between it being super hot, an 8-hour stream, I don't take breaks, I don't eat. It was a very hard boss in Elden Ring. I was not having a very good stream and I knew it. And I ended up that stream and it didn't sit right with me. I was not proud of that stream at all. In fact, it made me embarrassed to be a streamer because, like, have you ever had a bad stream like that?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. I'll have streams where it's just like, it feels like nothing really, like nothing, not much happened, nothing is entertaining. Or I had to deal with a whole ton of tech issues. Tech issues are like the major bane,
especially sound.
Oh, okay. Especially if it's a sound issue that you can't figure out, or it's just like, well, this never happened before. Why am I dealing with this now? Or it's like, this was working yesterday. Frick, I was playing Helldivers with Firestorm last night. He wasn't streaming or anything, but his mic just flat out just disappeared. He couldn't get it working at all, and you can just hear the frustration. Like, he wasn't even streaming, and he was frustrated. And it was like, oh, I understand.
That's a mood.
You spend.
That's a goddamn mood.
You spend all the time you need to figure it out, buddy. Like, I totally get it. It just sucks when you like, you have your flow, you're getting into everything, and then something breaks, and it just, like, your mood just drops like a rock. You're just sitting there going like, okay, I just want to hop on, do my thing. I have this this grand scheme. I want to be focused on beating the boss, looking cool, and just kicking butt and taking names or whatever. And then, yeah, literally then, like, and then you're ready to get into it, and then everything breaks. You're just like, why am I here? And just to suffer. Obviously, you're only here to suffer. There's no other reason. And then it just feels just terrible. And you're sitting there in real time, looking at this problem that you can't necessarily solve. You have a chat that's, I don't know, rioting, being silly, probably not actually paying attention.
Probably telling you that you're muted the entire time. Fix your mic. Hey, did you know you're muted still? Yes, I'm working on it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
God.
Being so helpful because chat is the main character and they need their attention.
I can't tell them that I hear them.
So yeah, exactly. So and you're just sitting there with this pressure that you put on yourself, even though there's actually no pressure.
No pressure at all.
No real pressure, but it's there, and you feel it. And you have tech support bugging you. You have the blowing up stream bugging you, and you're sitting there, and it's just this mental anguish that you're putting in yourself through. You're torturing yourself with, and it's something that, like, most streamers have to deal with at some point.
How do you get past a bad stream like that, though?
I don't know. I feel like you do need to step away and just accept that those do happen. I don't try to think or dwell when I have a bad stream day. I guess I more or less absorb it. I guess that's part of, like, that so-called mystery brand or that brand that I don't have, is that I'm a very scuffed streamer. I have a lot of things that break, and then it's just like, oh, so and so stream thing is broken. I guess that's just not going to work for the rest of streaming. We'll just have to accept it. And if you don't accept it, too bad. That's just the only way I can go and just ignore it going forward. It'll still be there poking at me and be like, Lambo, did you fix that thing? No, because you're ignoring it. And then it's just, you just have to move on. It's just accept it, move on, figure it out next time when you've had a chance to sit down, breathe. And a big part of what you're saying is you had a long 8-hour stream, and it was hot, frustrating, whatever. You probably should have taken a few breaks just to like step away and and cool off or something, just so that you would.
I actually ended up doing that towards the end. I took some breaks because I realized I was being a shitter. And taking those breaks didn't help at all because
No.
I literally left the stream and I went and laid in my bed and it then just completely consumed me where I was like, I can't be sitting here because this is literally becoming the entire thing I'm thinking about when I could be doing something else, something better. But then I lose sleep over it. I sit in bed at the end of that day and I go, fuck, that stream was shit. Like, do I go and delete the VOD? I'm not proud of that. And then what I find best for me to get over that is to do the next stream. Yeah. And even though like the next morning I wake up, 100%. And I feel like I want to quit streaming because I'm so embarrassed about that stream. But the only thing that always stops me from quitting stream after a really bad stream is because, quite frankly, I do not want my legacy to be a shitty stream. I had one bad stream. That's all people will ever remember me for if I quit after that. So fuck no. Yeah. What I do is I want to get back live. I want to do something better, and it motivates me to be better. But until I realize that I need to motivate myself to be better, I get in the dumps, and I feel like a lot of streamers do that. So I'm wondering what people do to get over aside from doing the next stream.
I think that is probably the major thing. I see a lot of streams that, or I guess I saw a lot of smaller streamers that just kind of stop up out of nowhere, and they probably, I assume, probably had that one bad stream that was enough for them to not want to come back, and then, or they just, they have such a long lead time between streams. I just kind of like, well, I haven't streamed in like, I don't know, X number of weeks, and then it becomes X number of months. It's like, should I come back? Do I just stay away? And it's like, once you get into this rhythm, you just have to just keep going. Just keep going. It's like that's why having such a nice regular schedule for your stream is important, because one, it holds yourself accountable, and two, chat can expect to come back to you on that time. And some people do expect you to actually be streaming, and it helps them, it helps you. That's probably the best way to go about it. I'm sure there's other ideas or methods for you to get past these issues, whether it is for someone like me, like just I can push past a lot of these issues personally, because one, I don't care. That is my other phrase that I use a lot. I just don't care. Like, realistically, like, something breaks, I'll deal with it later. It's not gonna, like, unless it was like catastrophic, like the internet goes down, I can't do anything. Well, I guess anybody can accept the fact that the tech will break at some point, where like the internet's completely unavailable, the camera's broken, the computer flat out like won't start up. Okay, well, these are understandable and out of my control. I can definitely move on and come back and fix it and deal with it later. Maybe it'll be a week after I fix my computer. Like, I mean, had that happen, was it a couple years ago? My stream PC decided to blow up, and I had to replace a whole bunch of parts, and I was like, okay, well, I kind of need that. So without that, I guess I'll come back in a week, and that's reasonable. I'll be like, okay, I'll try to get it fixed as soon as I can, and I'll be back as soon as it, and maybe skip a stream or two, but that's all I can do. All I can do is keep pushing. Come back for the next stream. That's pretty much it.
How many technical issues do you run into on an average week as a streamer?
Oh, on an average week.
And is it worse because you're a VTuber?
Oh, man. I actually started the stream, and there were so many problems that I immediately shut down like my VTubing stuff, because it's so taxing on my computer. I'm to the point where I have two computers. Like, I have like my stream PC, I have my gaming PC, and I even shunted off some of my I guess extra stuff to my gaming PC, just to relieve like the pressure on the stream PC. And like at the start of this stream, like I was like, oh, maybe I'll just have like my model in the corner, just like so that people can watch it still emote or talk in the background. Obviously not for you, but for on my side. But it was like lagging the heck out of my camera and the model, and it was like, this was not a good viewing experience for anybody. I'll just turn it off. I'll just run with the camera, and that's just it. So at least this week, this would be my first issue that I ran into. I don't typically run into a lot of problems, so it was like I think it's like because I've been streaming for so long, I've had all these issues. I've dealt with a lot of them. I've gotten into a flow where like maybe at best I'll have like an thing that I'll forget to load up, and that's like the extent of my problems. It's like, oh, I forgot to enable Maui Cam, or I forgot to turn on the music, or I forgot to reposition my model or something like that. These are minor enough problems that it's just like, oh well, whatever. I can
Did
move
you
on and
forget
deal
to
with it.
jiggle the cable in your Go XLR?
I do not. I look at my Go XLR when you fucking said that, and I'm just like, nothing is touching it, right? I'm looking over at it. I'm like,
Yeah, you're definitely not touching that thing. Yeah, as soon as it's on, ooh, maybe not even shake the table. It's so sensitive.
even my mic arm like barely touches the corner of it, and I know it's fine that it touches that corner, but like if it was to move it anymore, I would be like, oh, there goes my audio probably. So that's
Probably.
probably the source of most of my issues. But as long as it's like the untouched passenger princess on this desk that it is, it'll probably be fine. But I think thankfully a lot of the issues that I used to deal with as a streamer, even as a VTuber, I don't deal with as much anymore. The main problem that I typically deal with is like um, probably overloading the stream PC as a VTuber. That's why like I don't typically do the camera plus the VTubing or all this stuff all at the same time very much. Like right now, I guess there's probably more resources on the camera because I'm blurring the background, for example. Not that a lot of people can see it,
Is that
but
the
a lot of
Elgato face cam still?
yeah, I'm using your Elgato face cam because that's probably the best camera that I own right now because that's the one I
Would
got
it
off
be cheaper to
got
get
from
a
you.
VTuber compared to a DSLR?
Because well, as a VTuber, all you need, well, you can do this as a VTuber. You can either get just a nice webcam, or you can get an old iPhone 10 or iPhone 10 Plus. Anything newer than an iPhone 10 that has the AR face cam, face ID camera on there. That's all you really need for like the best tracking for a VTuber. You can't really do tracking with an Android iPhone or Android phone, so it has to be an iPhone 10 or newer. But in terms of cost, if you can, I can't imagine iPhone 10s being terribly expensive. At least
Right, but
a used
DSLRs
one.
are. They're like $600
DSLRs,
for the
yeah.
camera and then lens and then capture card. And I wonder if it
Like,
equates out. I know a lot of custom models are probably thousands, and that's more
oh
than a
yeah,
DSLR.
Yeah, a custom model, like a very custom model to like a specific character or design that you want will absolutely cost anywhere. Well, it can be a few $100s depending on the artist and rig like rig animator that you pick. That's how it ranges, right? But of course, it can go quite high to a few $1,000s. And of course, you can even get like I guess customizable models that are like templated that you can just kind of like on a slider change a lot of the design and
I've seen a
features and
lot of
make it
those,
look
yeah.
most of the ways. And they look just great as well. Like they're only I think like the one I was looking at was like what $50-$60 something like that, and it was really nice. And it was like it has all the nice rigging for like the mouth expressions and all that sort of stuff. So it's like you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a nice model, and they look fantastic. And you can even just they give you access to like the textures and you can just change up the colors
And you
yourself.
can literally just buy clothes and accessories and
Yeah,
just like a video game.
and they keep adding stuff to like the software. Then like I think a big factor is like the live 2D um assets that you can add to your models now. They used to be like a flat image that you just put over top of your model, either over front of it or behind it. Now they have these new ones that you can put it like you can set it so that it'll actually wrap around your model without you having to do too much about it. It'll look natural. Be like, oh, pin it to like your character's hair, and it looks like a proper hat. You turn around, you'll see like the brim turn and everything. You're like, that's pretty cool. You can have that, with the older models, but um, a lot
So
of the
let me
tech
put
is
you
there.
on the spot here. You talked a
Yeah.
lot about models. I have to ask, who do you admire their model the most? Who has the nicest model in your opinion?
Uh, that's see. Let me see here. I would. Oh, nicest model. That's a very loaded question. Um, that's a very loaded question.
For
I'm
me,
gonna
I would have to
probably
pick Shy
say
Lily because her boobs bounce very nice.
Shy Lily has a very expressive model. I in terms of like how impressed I am with how the I guess the facial tracking, Saba has the very, very expressive model, especially like when she's doing like her karaoke streams. You can see like how expressive she gets when she's singing. Another model that I really like is probably Rose Doodle. I've seen her a lot on like TikTok and her videos. She's hilarious. I really like her like the animations and like the texture and like the art that she does for like that has for her model. Those are probably the two that come to mind for me. There's a whole ton. There's tons of models out there. I would also say like Iron Mouse is a good choice, but she.
Saba's that new one that was Gargura.
Yeah, formerly Gargura.
And I can fix that in the background while I ask you the next question, which was very simple. When you have these problems with your stream, all the different stuff, where do you go, or what is the best resource for you to find how to fix it?
I guess it depends on what the problem is. A lot of the problems I can honestly say is probably you can probably find most of those problems on YouTube and get them fixed that way, because they'll typically have someone out there will have something similar in terms of the issue. If not exactly the same, it'll be something very close, and then they'll run you and they'll probably walk you through like how they can fix it, and then you can just follow like a guide in that respect. Alternatively, it would probably be to like, you know, if it's like a specific software issue or plugin or something like that. If they have a Discord community, then that'd probably be the next best bet, because then you can have like hopefully a searchable archive that you can just kind of be like, oh, my issue is, I don't know, like a command or a specific parameter or special permission to type thing for like mix it up that I can't figure out. Maybe if I type that into their Discord search, I'll get a few hits and I can kind of do a search that way. Those are probably my top two ways that I would go and look for problems. Otherwise, or like look to fix problems. But otherwise, I guess if I know someone in the community that are, you know, especially talented in terms of like fixing other issues, I would look to them and ask and see if they might have an idea. Or even just like other I guess mutual VTubers, mutual streamers. They might.
Wow, I thought you would say me, but that's okay. You went on for 5 minutes, and I just expected. I go to use.
Yeah, I would absolutely also check to see if Zealous Zam might have encountered the problem, and I would see if,
because every time I have a problem, I literally go to Lambo's DMs. I'm like, oh man, OBS is like this thing, and I'm talking through the entire problem. Lambo's like, that's weird. And then I find out it's something usually stupid simple, where it's like I didn't add the fucking part that I needed, the broadcast mix, which I did to the other scene. So now when I swap over, we're no longer muted over here. The cameras are horribly adjusted though. But now people won't say, hey Zam, you're muted. I fixed it because I'm used to it.
I can see like my Discord react like sheep legs under me.
I leave that on because I do have a bunch of guests that will be coming on that do not have cameras for good reason. So naturally, I wanted to be able to have a Discord thing if I was going to bring them on. So that not only do I have a camera, if I'm talking to someone, you can see when they're talking back or what they wanted to show, whether it's their brand, their logo, their mascot, whatever.
Nope, that works out. And yes,
I would never go to chat with any problems with my stream, though. Not a single shot would I ever ask chat.
I guess it depends on who might be in chat. I know that I would probably ask Foul like certain like technical questions, but otherwise it depends.
I don't even trust chat to tell me when I'm muted or not.
Well, yeah, I guess that's I mean that we can verify that ourselves pretty easily in OBS.
Pretty easily. You'd be surprised. There's so many streamers that fall for that troll from chat. Oh, streamer's muted. I know. I see my broadcast mix. I can tell when I'm talking. However, there were a couple times where something would go through, but it wouldn't actually go through. That was interesting.
Yeah, there's if you're not familiar with the software, like OBS is like, actually, what did you start with? Because I started with Streamlabs OBS because I didn't know any better.
So I started with Streamlabs as well.
Okay, all right, yeah, because like it's just like, oh, this is what a lot of streamers use, right? You hop on and
no, because it was easier than OBS. It was so much easier to incorporate everything into Streamlabs. I used the bot, I used the obs. They tied into each other. Why wouldn't I?
It was this one nice little package. It had everything that you needed to do, and you could just be like, yeah, I'm good. It has all I need to do. Like, what else could I possibly need? And then eventually got to the point where we're just like, oh, it's kind of, you can't really customize like your docs. You can't like set up the layout to how you want it to.
I opened OBS for the first time, and Streamlabs demolished itself. It self-deleted, basically. Every source, every scene was gone. It just immediately deleted everything. And I had to skip a stream to set up OBS because once Slobs deleted everything, I can no longer trust Slobs to be able to be active, to run. So I just simply said, fuck Streamlabs. I'm done with their shit because that was unacceptable. And I don't know if that was like intentional or if OBS and Streamlabs were active at the same time and they fought for the same scenes, because I was trying to do an export import because I heard that was so easy to swap over to OBS. And that's the downside to Streamlabs for me, is I stopped using it from there, and I never thought about using Stream Elements aside from sponsorships, because Stream Elements is literally Streamlabs, but with sponsorships.
Yeah, I actually did utilize, like when I was doing that transition to switch over from Streamlabs to OBS, I actually utilized Stream Elements had a tool that would import your scenes from Streamlabs. This is why I brought up the whole streamer bot and mix it up thing. It's like they had like a tool to just import all your stuff over. That was exactly how I made the transition over to just OBS, because it was just like Stream Elements was just a plugin that you had on the side of actual OBS. So like you didn't, it wasn't like it was like its own fully functional thing that like Streamlabs was. So it was like, okay, just import all the scenes over. And it eventually, like when I wanted to get rid of like the Stream Elements stuff, all of my stuff was already in OBS. I can just get rid of the Stream Elements thing. But that took a while to get rid of, or at least stop using. But that's how I switched over, and thankfully it wasn't as rough of a switch over to OBS as it was for you. I don't think I lost too many things. I might have lost like a handful of.
Luckily, I was a baby streamer at the time. I might have had like 4 scenes, a game stream, a talk stream.
Like knowing what we know now, like at the end of the day, like all these fancy like graphics and things and whatever on the side, nobody really needs a lot of that. You just need the game, maybe your camera, and then like.
Did you not notice how my stream's literally just a game and camera? That's it. That's how I stream, because I used to have little like camera boxes that were flashy and try and bring your attention to me and not the game. I had like camera shadows to try and make it pop from the game more. I had like all these different things. The only reason I have the bar between our cameras right now is because I feel like that's looks better than just straight on 2 cameras. Plus it's the ZZ from my logo that I just slopped together, and it slowly scrolls down. So it feels like it's kind of like, I don't know. I thought it was impressive. I feel like it's
very
it's so Fisher Price's baby's first separate camera separator.
Well, I stole the idea and I put like for me like the little sheepies running across.
Yeah,
but it was just a slap together for this.
I stole that from an anime. So as an editor, I have this really bad habit of, if I'm watching some sort of either another streamer, an anime, any show, I am now tuned into how can I do shots like this? How can I do cool things like that? And this came from what was it? My Hero Academia. They would have like the villain in the bottom right corner and then slash with a lightning bolt, and the hero would be in the top left corner, and they'd be like, and I was like, that's so fucking cool to have the split like that. That's awesome. And then I was like, how do you get the split like that? Because they have a lightning bolt that goes across, but the lightning bolt glows at the beginning. So it glows with the lightning bolt striking down, but it's less than half a second. I'm like, oh, that's impressive. If I make it really quick and really cool like that, people won't have time to pick it apart, until I point it out on episode 2. And then they all look and they'll exactly see this is where the graphic recycles. But But I stole it from anime is what I'm trying to say.
Stole it. Can't believe he stole it. No, I believe it.
Leave it to me to go plus ultra.
Yeah,
it does work. Actually, I find it to be better and more cool of separating the different cameras. And I wish I could do something better, but I had an hour. And I technically have had a week since the last episode to try and improve. I made a different scene instead because I got a little bit of feedback that people wanted more visual effects, which is why I tried to look up those VTubers. And if you guys have more feedback on how to improve this this podcast, feel free to drop it down. This is the second episode, and I'm fresh and new. I'm a wee will guy. I don't know how to do podcasts.
Just a small guy.
But that sounds like a good place to start looking to end it. Lambo, do you have anything coming up that you want to bring up and promote, talk about yourself? I know you talked about possibly doing more TikToks.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be putting together more content in terms of like clips and short form stuff that I'll throw onto TikTok because I finally decided to settle on some sort of editing software. It's not the best editing software, but it is something that
did you go with DaVinci?
No, I was looking at DaVinci. I think I'm just gonna stick with Filmora. It's like
okay.
Yeah,
I would recommend DaVinci instead, but I mean, almost every video editor is a video editor.
Yeah, so it works for me in terms of like just throwing together a quick clip and whatnot, and it works like well enough. So I'll utilize that for my own stuff. So like I said, probably push out some more short form TikToks, game clips, stuff like that. In the near future, as I decide to find the time to, but I don't think I have anything super planned.
No charity events, no collabs, no nothing.
No, I think I'm taking a break this year. The only other thing that I am still, I know that Cameron and I both need to do this. We're gonna hopefully find the time to, when the weather's nice, to do some Maui adventure streams because like we promised to take him out for like some nice hikes. So we'll do some like IRL streams with Maui. People do seem to enjoy those, so those are probably coming in the near future.
Chimera would join for a podcast? I don't know if she would like this format. She's often very quiet.
I guess once you figure out the topics that might draw her out of her shell and something that'll be interesting for her to talk about, then maybe.
Do you think she would have an interest to be on it? Is really the question. I suppose I could ask her as well.
You could ask her, yeah.
I do want to talk to all sorts of people. Like I'm bringing Ilex, just a regular old chatter on. I'm talking to any and everybody because you don't get enough time to even talk with chatters. I'm on stream 4 hours a day, but you know I never get to find out who's who. What makes Lambo a Lambo? And I would love to have you back for another episode.
Yeah, the conversations can be pretty short and superficial at times, like you said at the beginning. So yeah, no, I'd be happy to come back if we have. Anything else you want to talk about, or any specific things? Because we could easily ramble for hours and hours as we
could. Here. However, I feel like we've used a lot of the hot pressing topics that people would want to know about. I do think that we would need to cool down to have fresher topics for another episode. That's for sure.
Yep, 100%.
But you have absolutely nothing to promote, no cool things. So I guess, guys, don't go watch Lambo. If you're watching the YouTube, don't even bother clicking the link in the description below. If you're watching live on air, don't go watch him after we end here. Are you going to continue streaming after this, by the way?
Yeah, I'll probably switch over to playing some games after this for a little bit.
Okay, that's the plan. Enough. Well, we'll go from there. Lambo, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being not a VTuber for today. I mean, I wouldn't care if you were a VTuber or not, but I think this gives people a better perspective, breaks the immersion, and find out the real Lambo.
Exactly.
I usually leave time at the end for you to say, hey, do you have anything you want to talk about with me? But I feel like you probably already brought up everything.
Yeah, we already gone through everything that we can think of, that I can think of right now.
That's fair.
I guess the only other thing is, Zam, we're going to buy a Switch 2.
I'm not going to buy a Switch 2. Oh, I have to bring this up now. We're going on one more topic. Don't tune out. Don't hit the stop button now. One question, Lambo. We collab the entire Borderlands series. I almost said Baldur's Gate. Borderlands 4 is coming out soon. What's your opinion?
I am very on the fence, but I don't see a reason why we shouldn't at least give it a shot.
I'm so against it. Have you not seen the ads for it? The ads for of Baldur's Gate, Borderlands 4 is so bad. None of it looks entertaining. And after that last one with Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I'm so out of the series that I don't want to pay $90 for Borderlands 4. I'm sorry, unless it goes on sale.
Entry. No, like $90 for a game that like we like you said, Tiny Tina's was kind of fun, but it wasn't like amazing by any standards. Like it was kind of like after I want to say 2 even, it was just like they're just doing the motion, just going through the motions.
I feel like 4 is just going through the motions all over again. That's what every in-game play looks like.
So like part of me is like, I mean, I wouldn't be against just trying out because it would just be funny to see how bad it is, but at the same time, I don't want to pay $90 for a game that is gonna be bad anyways.
But they're giving it out free with the NVIDIA 50 series cards. You can buy an upgraded video card and get it for free.
Yeah, but I have to buy the video card too. I'm not.
You can mine bitcoins with it or run like a third computer to run your VTuber model.
Oh, great. Now,
then you can Borderlands.
Sure the power draw for the third computer is already going to be way too much, Sam. I don't think so.
And then you'd have 3 computers in an office blasting heat at you. Jeez.
I'm wearing your hoodie. It's so warm.
I'm wearing a jersey. I feel it too. I have 2 computers going as well. It is a scorcher out. Anyways, I'll let you go, Lambo. Thanks for being on. I much appreciate it, guys. Go check out Lambo, even though I told you not to. He's a good dude. We might play Borderlands 4 with him. Fine. Any words of advice before you go?
Something. Keep your head on the ice. Wait, that's not it. That's the wrong one. No, I got no words of advice. Just be awesome to each other. yeah. Like, well, I don't know what it's your outro. But yeah, just be awesome to each other. And just have fun. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna say goodbye then. Goodbye, Lambo. Everybody say goodbye to Lambo.
Bye.